What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? How y'all doing today? Let me know if my mic is good. Let me know if my mic is clear. We in here. What's going on, the real McCoy? Sound is good. All right, cool. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me put up all my logos. Sound good. Loud and clear. Hit the link when you come in. Yeah, hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed yet. What is going on, everyone? We had some good games yesterday. We had a lot go on yesterday. So we got a lot to talk about. What's going on, Miss Gowdy? What's going on, JSU Tigers? D.I. Love, Hattie Rawls. Where y'all tuning in from? Let me know what cities y'all tuning in from tonight. Fired up Jackson State. All right, John Worfin, I see you. One Main 3X TV. What's going on? All right, we got Houston in the house. We got Memphis. Miss Gowdy represent Memphis. We got Dallas. We got H-Town. Y'all know we got Jackson. We got Maryland in here. Columbia, Pensacola, Florida. From the Jack and don't know how to act. I see you. We got Gary, Indiana in here. Got Dallas. We got a lot of people from Dallas. Augusta, Georgia, where the players play. I see you, Southbound 3000. You got VA in here. All right. I'm going to open up the phone lines a little later, y'all. Tampa, Florida. Spence, your boy going to call in tonight, too. Since I know you love you Mr. Ford's #1 fan, so I'm going to give you what you want tonight. So, yeah, he'll be calling in tonight, too. We got the DMV in here. Newton, Mississippi. Ooh, boy, Newton is country. I've been to Newton once. It's a country town. Shout out to Newton. Shout out Miss Ivy Tude as well. One of the OGs on the channel. She been supporting the channel for a long time. So appreciate you, Miss Ivy Tude. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Try to get the likes up tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in. So, y'all, we had some good games yesterday. I know I wasn't able to go live last night because I was out. But man, where do I start? Where do I begin? First, let's talk about the game itself. Jackson State, like I said the other day, I said they were going to come out slow. I said Alabama State was going to give them some haymakers in the first half. And y'all see what happened. Y'all see what happened. And Jackson State going to have to get that together because they're not going to be able to do this against a team like Campbell. They're not going to be able to do this against a team that's going to capitalize on their mistakes. Yeah, I can't wait to hear from Mr. Ford. Oh, yeah, you know Mr. Ford going to go off. Yeah, I said that. Everything I said came true. I knew that it probably wouldn't be a blowout. Now, I thought it would become a blowout in the second half, but I knew that first half was going to be a dogfight because y'all been doing all this jaw jacking all week. Y'all playing them boys weak. They extra motivated. So I knew that it was going to be something in the first half. Now, I've seen videos of, all the disrespect and stuff that the teams were doing towards each other. Now, I don't agree with that. I mean, I understand trying to get in your team's head, the other team's head, but I don't agree with, the disrespect, And then the whole Prairie View Southern debacle. I don't know how that happened. That was crazy. I don't know how Southern and Prairie View coaches let that happen. But anyway, y'all know we're going to talk about the handshake and who I thought was in the wrong. So if y'all, I know y'all know, Coach Prime and Coach Eddie Robinson had a viral moment. This thing went everywhere. It went ESPN, Sports Illustrated, Yahoo. It went everywhere. And I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of views. People, Bleacher Report, everywhere. They looked at this thing. Coach Prime goes in for the handshake. Eddie Robinson shakes his hand, puts his hands up to his chest to not do the bro hug because he didn't want to do the bro hug. And then Coach Prime kind of gets mad and kind of throws his hand off him. So who I think was in the wrong, I kind of think Coach Robinson was in the wrong because Coach Prime wasn't expecting it. If you were gonna do that, I feel like you shouldn't have shook hands at all. Just don't go to midfield at all. You know, if you're gonna do all that, just say, okay, I'm not shaking your hand, and then just go on about your business. You know, they only like it when it's negative. It's honestly sad. Yeah, 301 shake, that's true, man. We don't get, notoriety like that until it's something negative. This thing went everywhere. So who y'all think was in the wrong? I want to see from the comments. Who y'all think was in the wrong? Do y'all think Coach Eddie Robinson was in the wrong, or do y'all think Coach Prime was wrong? They didn't get to the stadium until about hour before kickoff. I don't think y'all understand just how hard it is to jump right off the bus and get right to playing. That's true. Brian Wilson said Draymond started all this stuff. Y'all are funny, man. Clown Eddie. Y'all think Eddie Robinson was wrong. I agree, man. I feel like he could have diminished all that stuff that happened by just not even shaking Coach Prime's hand. That would have sent the message to Coach Prime that he didn't appreciate what was going on. Coach Prime received a lot of compliments. Hold on, let me go up to that comment and see what you're saying. Coach Prime received a lot of compliments from Coach Robinson Jr. in spite of love Coach Prime's question to whether Coach Robinson thought he was going to win. Yeah, I mean, it was salty grapes. But I don't like to see our coaches doing stuff like that, honestly. Coach Robinson was wrong for putting his hands on his chest. That was an assault. Prime responded in self-defense. I mean, I know in legal terms you could deem it as assault, but it wasn't really assault. I mean, it was rude. It was rude, though. You know, he should have just slid off the handshake. It with his buck teeth. Y'all are crazy. Well, man, I'm gonna open up the phone lines and let y'all get to it. I know y'all want to call in and talk about it. Hold on just a second. Let me put the phone number up. All right. Phone is on the screen, 657-390-4814. If y'all want to call in, talk about what happened yesterday, talk about the games, all the SWAC games y'all want to. Phone lines are open. I know y'all got a lot to say. I'm gonna have a couple of regular guys call in later on as well to chop it up. Them kids cussing Prime made me madder than the push. Yeah, man, where's your respect? Where's your respect for your elders? You know, we don't act like that at HBCUs, man. We respect our elders. I understand rivalry. I understand football and heated moments, but I wouldn't disrespect another coach like that. If you don't like me, just tell me before we can avoid the handshake altogether. Right. I feel like if he was upset about what Coach Prime said, he should have said something earlier, but he let it build up. And it's obvious he was jealous because he said Prime wasn't SWAC. That was personal. And I like Coach Robinson. I like Coach Eddie Robinson, but that was stupid. Said that Coach Prime is not the SWAC because he didn't go to a SWAC school. That's crazy. There's so many coaches that done coached in the SWAC that, that's gone to the SWAC teams and won championships. So you can't invalidate somebody because they didn't go to a SWAC school. But I understand he's kind of preaching to that base of people that don't believe Coach Prime belongs. They ready for him to leave. And he's preaching to that base. But what Coach Eddie Robinson is doing is brilliant though, because he got his fan base riding behind him, y'all. And honestly, if I was a player on his team, I would love this. I would love his attitude. He not finna kiss the ring. He ain't finna kiss your ring, Coach Prime. He don't care how many millions you got, what you being in the Hall of Fame. He don't care about none of that. I like that about him though. Feel every coach in the SWAC trying to chase Buddy Pugh. They want the W on JSU. Those kids will be failures in life with that attitude. No one will want to help them. You need someone to help you in life. Yeah, but he jealous. Yeah, I mean it's some jealousy in there, some salty grapes in there, But this is gonna pump his team up. I'm telling you, Alabama State is gonna be a good team. They're gonna be a force to be reckoned with in a few years. Well, in the next coming years. Swag, can you possibly interview Roland Martin about content with our HBCUs? Yeah, I'll reach out to Roland. Roland is always good for I think Roland is great for HBCUs. And I know his platform is more political, but I wish that he would create another channel or something that's more towards HBCUs, and it would be a great thing for, both conferences. Hold on, y'all. Got a call coming in. What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
Hey, this is Mr. Ford. How you doing?
What's going on, Mr. Ford?
All right.
What you think going on with all this stuff that happened yesterday? We had a lot to happen. It was just a mess yesterday. Honestly, it was. Are we there? Y'all can hear me? Y'all should be able to hear me now. Mr. Ford, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can they hear me?
Yeah, I made a mistake and unplugged my mic. My bad, y'all. Go ahead, Mr. Ford.
Okay. This was totally beneath Coach Robinson. Not only did I keep up with him, I knew his coach. His coach was Coach Houston Markham. What most people don't know, he went pro as a linebacker. His first start at Alabama State was as an offensive lineman. He never really was under an athletic scholarship. He was always under a academic scholarship. You got to remember, he was a 3-time academic All-American. He was a chemistry major. He doesn't come from that kind of a background. His mother was a principal in the school system in New Orleans. His dad was the second or third most powerful person at the New Orleans Superdome. And once again, I want to say, I want to apologize for him. I felt so much better today. I think the guy's name is Jeff Lightsey. Is that his name? Jeff Lightsey?
Yeah, Jeff Lightsey.
Jeff Lightsey published his apology, and I was so glad for him. His behavior yesterday on the field at the end of the game and in that press conference, to me, it was a page out of the Atlanta Housewives. Have you ever seen that foolishness?
Yeah.
Or the one called the Women of the Potomac, when they stripped them to act as stupid and ignorant as possible for black folks to view. Have you ever seen those shows?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, that's what it reminded me of. And that stuff is beneath Eddie. That is beneath Eddie. Let me say this. One thing I learned yesterday, there are 12 teams in the SWAC. Alabama State is in the top 5. All of their problems are on the offensive side. Now, let me acknowledge a person that I know some of y'all probably don't forgot him. His name was Donald Hill Ely. He was the coach of Alabama State last year before they replaced him. Let me say to you, he did not leave the cup bare. He brought in some outstanding players. He didn't have to stay. Now, all of his best coaches were on the defensive side of the ball. I was not impressed with his offensive staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the problem. They still got offensive problems. Now, instead of Coach Robinson saying all that foolishness about Deion ain't SWAC, because let's go to history for a minute. Eddie Robinson, the winningest coach in America, he didn't go to a SWAC school. He went to Leland College.
Right.
You remember Coach Cassim down at Alcorn? He went to Xavier. He didn't go to a SWAC school. You remember W.C. Gordon, coach at Jackson State?
Right.
He went to Tennessee State. So that was straight foolishness, this whole thing of saying about he ain't SWAC. When he signed that contract to become the head coach at Jackson State, he became SWAC.
Right.
Okay? And when they write the history of the SWAC, you better believe his name is going to be in there. But let me say this to Coach Robinson. See, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. See, 2 things I said after the game. Number 1, let me give you a name Alabama State needs to call. His name is Joe Hamilton. He lives here in the Atlanta area. My wife and I know him. First of all, the first thing I noticed, and I'm going to tell you this. When that Davis kid went out of that game and them kids realized he wasn't coming back, that's when they failed. See, they didn't have any confidence in that Hawley kid, that second kid that came in for them.
Yeah.
And it's obvious with him, he's a quarterback. His fundamentals are terrible. His footwork is terrible. He does things that high school kids don't do. So what am I saying? I see 14 and 15-year-old kids who got better fundamentals and better footwork than that kid showed you. So instead of you showing out like you did, talking about who ain't SWAC, build up your coaching staff. You there. You there. I just said I'm going to repeat this again. One thing I realized yesterday, watching them play Jackson State, it's 12 teams in the SWAC. Alabama State is top 5. Now, let me just say this to you. I watched yesterday Alabama A&M, and then I watched Alabama State. Alabama State is a more complete team, but here's the difference. Cornell Maynor is the head coach at Alabama A&M. He's a championship coach. Now, what am I trying to say to you? State should run over A&M, but it's not going to happen because Cornell Maynor ain't going to let it happen. And see, here's the thing. They found their identity up there at Huntsville now. They know that they got to ride the back of that running back number 7, that kid that came from Michigan State. They're going to ride that horse. And they know that's the way they're going to win.
You know,
now, that's going to be a big game, huh?
One thing about Alabama State I always liked was they D-line. Like that's what they're being known for now.
Excellent.
Yeah, their D-line has always been good.
Yeah. They got 1 or 2 problems back there in that secondary, but that D-line covers it up because most people don't understand. See, if your front 7 is good, you can play freshmen at DB because all they got to do is just run with them wide receivers. That front 7 for Alabama State is great. It's good.
Thank you for the contribution, Mr.
That's
Gavin.
what I'm saying to y'all. Alabama State is right at the doorstep. But that proved what Eddie did yesterday. He does not have a championship mentality as a coach. Basically what he did psychologically, he lost his composure. When I was in the 9th grade, our coach told us, he said, listen, when you lose your composure, you lose the game. That's what happened. He lost his composure. But I'm so happy tonight that he did post an apology because he needed to do that. Right. And like you said, this stuff about Coach Prime walking the sidelines and them players cursing at him, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
We got a call coming in, Mr. Ford. Let me see who this is. Hold on.
Okay.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
That is ridiculous.
How you doing today, sir?
Hey, how you doing? Kind of
How you doing
turn
today,
the
sir?
sound off in the background. Okay.
How you doing today, sir?
Doing great.
I was watching the game yesterday. I mean, Deion, I'm from Florida. I'm from Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Tampa, Florida. I've been playing football for a while. I played at a predominantly white school in Iowa. And I understand on both sides of the ball what was going on with Deion. You know, Deion to me is he's hype. He bringing good things to the black college rankings and the black college scene, but he's overshadowing the kids.
You saying he's overshadowing the kids?
Come on, man. Think about it, man. Come on now. When you think of black college now, all you hear is Deion. All you hear, Jackson State has always been a powerhouse. If you want to think about it, they've been losing here and there, but think about Walter Payton, all those guys. Look at in Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice.
Well, can I say something for a minute? Can I?
Go ahead.
Let me say this. When when Jackson State was under Tony Hughes, they were not a powerhouse. When Jackson State was under Coach Bale, they were not a powerhouse. When they were under Harold Jackson, they were not a powerhouse. To be honest with you, Jackson State's program has come back today because of Coach Sanders. But let me just say this to you. From about 2013 until Coach Sanders arrived on Jackson State campus, that program was chaos and confusion.
Yeah, I understand that.
So what do you think?
Hold on. Okay, I'm breaking like this here. Let me explain something.
Go ahead.
He is like this here. He's bringing good vibes back to the HBCU schools, first of all. Okay, he's doing that. You can't take that from him all day, every day. But he is overshadowing those kids. It's not about Deion Sanders. He's a coach. It's about those kids. He don't need to trash talk and talk about another school and this, that, the other. It leaves them up to the kids. You don't see coaches going at each other like that. The game is played on the field. It's played on the field. Deion Sanders had his prime time. The kids have their prime time.
So,
let me say this. Now,
so you say that if you think about it, you look at it now. When I feel like this is the only reason right now Jackson State is known, period, all over the United States, is because of Deion Sanders. And that's true. We're going to give him that. But the thing is, he is overshadowing those kids, man.
So what happened to the coach? So what happened when the coaches that we've had in the past didn't overshadow the kids? Look where we were then. Hold on. Listen. I want you to answer this for me though. In the past, we've had coaches in the SWAC that didn't overshadow the kids, and look where the conference was then compared to now with Coach Prime. So
think about it. You want to get technical? They really don't play nobody. We only play each other. We always do is play classics. We play each other. Deion hate classics. He done said that. We play each other. There's other schools in the FCS that these schools can play to boost their program. And that's the truth. We play.
Let me say this now. You said that no other coaches trash talk. I would ask you to go back and listen to Dabo Swinney.
Okay, hold on. North Carolina Central just beat New Hampshire. North Carolina Central just beat New Hampshire, and they got ranked into the FCS poll. They got ranked.
Okay.
Jackson State got ranked, and who did they beat to get ranked? Who did they beat to even get ranked in the FCS? Who did they beat to get ranked in the FCS? They got ranked on their recruiting class. Because they get all the number one recruits.
You sure? But all the recruits are number one. You saying all the recruits are 5 stars?
Hold on. Who did they rank to get? Who did they beat to get ranked in the FCS?
They're getting ranked. They're getting ranked by the teams that they're playing and the talent that they have. And the talent that they have.
They got ranked by the talent they have. Hold on.
Yeah.
They got ranked by the talent they have. You're right. You said it right there.
Yeah.
But who did they beat to even get ranked? North Carolina Central.
Who cares? Who cares?
They got ranked.
Who cares? Who cares?
The thing is, all you talking about, who cares?
Who cares about them playing in white schools? I'm just being honest. Like, who cares? HBCU fans don't care about them playing those PWIs.
Hold on, break like this up. Every time
No, you're not gonna overtalk me on my own show. You need to listen what I'm saying. People in the SWAC don't care about our HBCUs playing those other schools outside in the FCS. Yeah, we'll play them, for a little clout here and there, but we don't hang our hats on that. We love our culture and playing each other. That's why, the SWAC is the hottest thing right now. Those other conferences not hot like the SWAC. So what are you talking about? We don't care about playing them. Anyway, let me go on to the next person. All right, hold on, y'all. What's going on, Kali Live? Talk to me.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening?
Hey, how you doing?
I just want to tell y'all what a wonderful job you're doing. And let me tell you about Mr. Ford. Boy, do you have a treasure and a jewel. I'm just so glad when I call in, I hear, or when I'm listening, I hear and learn so much. And, a lot of times the younger generation, the kids, they don't get to know the history and everything. And it's just a treasure that Mr. Ford is there and he knows all of this and can educate. But now, what I wanted to say I'm just going to say this quick about that last caller. It's because of Coach Sanders, Deion prime time, that not only Jackson State, but the HBCUs is getting a whole lot of exposure. He's using his powers for good. He loves those kids. He makes a difference. He can connect with them. He may be able to touch some of those kids that none of these coaches would ever be able to touch. That's why that boy, what's his name, Travis Hunter, came there, because he liked Deion. He admired him. He was going to go to another school. But when he came there and seen Deion and, all of the other kids, and he hugged him maybe about a month ago, and I tell you, you can feel that through the TV. And I just think that he's using his powers for good. He's got friends. Michael Strahan bought all of those boys new suits, got them looking good, and I like what he's doing.
All right. Well, I thank you. Go ahead. You got anything else to add?
This off topic. I got one quick question I want to ask.
Ahead.
This is off topic. But do Nugget share his number with somebody else, because it's another boy that's been wearing number 4?
Yeah,
that's Dallas Daniels. He's on offense. You can have two of the same numbers on the team. They just can't be on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was confusing me. I kept saying, but I thought that was his number.
Yeah, that's one's on offense, the other one's on defense.
Okay.
As long as they're not on the field at the same time, it's good. If they're on the field at the same time, that's a penalty.
Yeah. And one more thing, since I've got a chance to just say a little something, I thought I was watching the game, and the people I was watching the game with, they were saying yesterday that the refs were cheating a little bit. But what I didn't like is Coach Robinson, I understand he was upset. I think when people, like you said, Mr. Ford, when you get mad, you lose. He lost his composure, and it was a homecoming game. There was a whole lot of people there, his pride and everything. Coach Sanders is a hugger. He hugs everybody. Listen, JSC, they done beat everybody. All of them coaches don't feel good about hugging him when they go up to him. If he didn't want to hug him, he should have shook his hand like he did, but he should have said, hey, man, now look, I'm not no hugger, and kind of backed up a little bit. Where he messed up is he showed his true colors, which was the silence and the resentment or whatever it was. It was something more there. And that's what we saw. That was the energy. That's what people picked up on. It wasn't the loss. It was something in his heart.
Oh, yeah. It was jealousy. Some people call it crab in the barrel.
It's for your phone breaking
one brother going up there, and some of us get together and try to pull him down.
Thank you for the call, sister.
One thing I told you, SWAC, I said this over and over. I said it all this summer. You can't play SWAC football with one quarterback.
Right.
Now, I told you, remember what I said about Billy Joe? Remember that conversation I had with Billy Joe? You remember that, SWAC? I told you about that conversation I had with Billy Joe about quarterbacks. Remember what he said? He said every team needs at least 6, and he wanted 9. Let me tell you something. Alabama State was in that game until that Davis kid went out. That's when the team failed. They were in the game.
Yeah. Let me get to these other callers. Hold on, Ms. Ford.
Okay.
What's going on, Calling You Live? Try to keep it quick because we got a lot of callers calling in tonight. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'll definitely keep it quick. SWAC Buzz, thank you so much for going live. Mr. Ford, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, doing pretty well. So just a couple of things I want to bring up. Number one, for a lot of people who are mentioning, that this doesn't go on in the SWAC or this behavior, just going back in SWAC history, man, we had an Alcorn coach and a Jackson State coach in the 80s. They got into an all-out brawl. Actually, both coaches did.
That was Bob Hill and Marino Castle.
Yeah, in the middle of the field, like SWAC, when it comes to SWAC coaches and trash talking, really, it goes beyond the SWAC coaches. It's the SWAC fans, it's the SWAC students. That's what makes the SWAC such an interesting culture, is because we talk junk, we talk trash. Now, for a lot of folks from Alabama State who appear to be kind of throwing rocks and hiding their hands, you can't put Coach Prime's picture up on the Jumbotron in the spring and then get upset, when he kind of makes some statements. And to me, his trash talking this week was kind of mild, compared to in the past. But
yes, it was.
But I will say I was very disappointed, with the coach's antics more so in the press conference, because at the end of the day, man, we forget that he invited all of these top recruits. I want to say up to 10 to 15 top recruits to this game. I don't think their parents are going to be too privy to, or likely to want their child to go to Alabama State, because, and that's the thing, it's always a chess match. And I think Coach Prime did a great job handling the entire situation. In the heat of the moment, you got to control your emotions, whether it's on the field or in press conference. And these parents are going to look at the actions of both coaches. They're going to be like, I'd rather my child go play for them. But that's all I got. Also, Mr. Ford, you did a great job kind of predicting the atmosphere of this game. And it was a wonderful crowd. I think the preliminary reports, there was a newspaper article that stated preliminary, there was a $2.7 million economic impact. And, when you kind of crunch the numbers, Alabama State made well over $1 million yesterday. Compared to like the 500,000 they got from UCLA. So great job, man.
All right.
Well, I'm waiting on the call now because I think that's the largest crowd in the history of that stadium. The previous largest crowd was a game with Alabama State and Tuskegee on Thanksgiving Day. But I think that crowd yesterday eclipsed that record. I'm waiting to hear.
All right.
But I think it did because I think officially it was over 28,000. The previous record was 27,500.
All right, let me get to the next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Callie Live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Doing great.
My name is John. I just wanted to say that I graduated from Howard in Bethune. I played football in the MEAC, and I really see what Prime is doing for HBCUs in general. But there have been a lot of good coaches along the way. They may not be as famous. They may not have the resources that Primetime has. I'm a long-time Primetime fan. But, and like the lady said, he's doing a lot of great things, but a lot of other coaches been doing a lot of great things too for a very long time. And I just don't think this is a good look. I hope they get it all worked out. But like the other caller said, I mean, this is not a singular occurrence. Things like I've seen a few instances like this previously. I really don't like them because the amount of respect I have for black colleges, but I just hope it all gets worked out.
Right. Thank you for the call. Let me get to the next caller. Hold on. All right, y'all. Hold on just a second. What's going on, Callie Live? Talk to me.
SWAC Buzz, Mr. Ford, good evening to you, brothers.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I got 3 points I want to make. I'm going to make my points, and I'm going to just hang up and listen to you guys. My first one is black people, when y'all call in to these shows, get out of your feelings. about Coach Prime. Get your panties out of bunch. Let whatever it is, whatever vendetta that you have in your heart go, let it go. It's not that serious. He has an impact on HBCUs and that university in particular from the time he's gotten there, from recruiting to marketing to the internet. So don't be mad about it. Just embrace it. Give him his flowers while he's here, because we should all be appreciative of this. It's building up Black people and you know, putting us on a bigger platform to make the playing field equal, like he said. Second thing, I kind of just briefed on it, but as far as the recognition of JSU, it's because of Coach Prime and everything that he brings. Thirdly, Black Buzz, brother, you got to start landing these planes again and enforce your 30-second rule, because these people will be so long-winded just talking. Lord have mercy. Everybody with their TV talking points. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Ivy, too. Appreciate that donation. Thank you for that donation. Your contribution to the channel. All right. Let me get to the next caller. 1 second, y'all. Killing Texas. What's going on? Calling you live. Talk to me.
Yo, SWAC was good, brother.
What's going on?
Hey, real quick, man. I'm an old school SWAC fan, brother. I'm talking SWAC when SWAC football was played on BET in the 90s at 7 p.m. on Saturday, when Jackson State used to play, and that was the talk of the weekend. And regarding to your caller talking about Coach Prime and what he say, overshadowing the player, I want this young man to really do his research. Remember, it was either 2013 or 2014. ESPN every Thursday night would host a SWAC game. You know why they stopped hosting those SWAC games? Number one, nobody showed up.
Right.
I'm talking attendance-wise. The ratings were so bad. The students weren't going. Everybody started complaining about this, that, and the third. But they opened this up to the SWAC and said, hey, we got you a time slot Thursday night, 7 p.m. So when you talk about overshadowing, he don't know what he's talking about. Now, as far as the coach from Alabama, I got respect for Eddie Robinson Jr. I remember him playing at Alabama State. I remember him being the middle linebacker for the Houston Oilers. He was a decent player. You know, I think his frustration was, I cannot beat this guy. And his emotions took over on him. When your emotions take over and you get mad, you're going to say all kinds of stuff. Now, I wouldn't accept no apologies from that man. You said what you said. Stand on it. If you want, do just like the coach from South Carolina did. I'm going to kick your fanny. And guess what he did? He kicked Coach Prime's fanny. That's right or wrong. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's ways to go about it instead of sitting there getting on TV being emotional. I mean, that was a train wreck. I said, it make good for a soundbite, but as far as that doing anything for your players, which is on video of his players, when I say disrespecting, that's a nice word to say. They cut Coach Prime out from the time that he walked by them until the time he finished walking by them. I'm talking the N-word, punk MF, SOBs, all kind of stuff that they were saying. So I'm like, do you realize what your players were saying?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making a lot of sense.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, so it's I'm so glad to see the SWAC back. You look, it was 3-4 SWAC games on ESPN Plus yesterday. You had Fairview with Southern, Fairview and Southern. You even had Alcorn and Valley. Then you had Jackson State and Alabama State. Now you got to tell me when the last time before Coach Prime came to the SWAC that you got to see 3 or 4 SWAC games on TV.
And don't forget HBCU Go had Grambling and Alabama A&M.
Yeah,
you correct, Mr. Ford. Dan show did. So I'm saying, and I tell people embrace this. I said we haven't had this a long time. Where you don't have to look on the back of the sports page to try to figure out what HBCU played this weekend and the stats of this. Now it's all out there in the open. I say take it and run with it. And the only way to shut Coach Prime up is beating.
Right.
You know, this man has told y'all he's gonna make you be better. That's his team and the opposing teams. And I think it's working. You starting to get recruits that would never go to these different colleges, HBCU colleges, and now they're taking looks at them. It's huge when you got a 4-star or 5-star defensive tackle saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go look at Alabama State or Jackson State or any of those schools." These kids are doing it now. So all these people
let me say this, and this is why I was disappointed with Eddie, because like I said, as far as Eddie and Prime, I like both of them guys. I probably like Eddie better because I watched Eddie's whole career from Alabama State. I knew Coach Houston Markham, his head coach. I knew his defense coordinator, Jerome Hopper. But let me say this. Eddie has NFL ties. He was seen as a class act when he was with the Houston Oilers. Now, somebody tell me, if Eddie calls the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, that man is named Andy Reid, and ask him to send him the name of somebody he could get to be his offensive coordinator, you don't think he can give him a list of names? That's what I want y'all to know. Bama State is there. Now, from what I saw yesterday, Bama State's problems is on the offense.
Yeah.
Okay? He is there.
Right.
And please remember, Bama State spends more money on athletics than Jackson State does.
That's true. Let me get to this other caller. Hold on, Ms. Ford. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hi, this is Dr. Smith. I spoke on your show a few months ago. You probably don't remember, but the topic was crime, of course.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to say something about what's happening here lately. Now, I've been on his team from day one because of the potential that he has to help the SWAC. But here's what I think the problem is. I think if Coach Prime would have come in and had a sit down with every coach in the SWAC and include them in this plan to fix the SWAC or to improve the SWAC, as opposed to coming in as somebody who has no ties to HBCUs and wants to try to fix something, it's not a good look. Like, you can't come in and take over something that you have no ties to if you don't do it the right way. He should have sat down with every coach in the SWAC, every school, whatever, and had a talk about how this thing was going to go. There was a fight yesterday at the Prairie View game. There's so much animosity. Yeah, there's too much animosity. And
Smith, Dr. Smith.
I've been riding with Coach Prime since day one. But when I went to the Jackson State game, I was very disappointed at him co-signing about us leaving the game because we were losing. That's not true. We had elders, the underbreed, watch the game from under in the shade. Like, it was hot out there. I almost passed out. But I didn't like the fact that he co-signed that. I think he should have done better to represent the family environment that we have in the SWAC. I can talk about Southern to another Southern person all day, but can't nobody come to me about Southern if you're not an HBCU.
Dr. Smith.
I'm not going to talk about Southern.
Dr. Smith. Can you hear me? I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
So how do you feel like he's trying to take over? Do you think he intentionally trying to take over, or is it just a byproduct of his popularity?
And that was probably the wrong choice of words. I don't see, it's not really taking over. He's trying to come in and right some wrongs or straighten out some things in the SWAC. We lost players to predominantly white colleges for various reasons, and he knows that. And when he went to Jackson State, his goal was to bring those athletes back. And I love that, because I hate the fact that our players are going to PWI and we can't get the quality players we got back when, in the day when Coach Robinson was at Grambling and all the people he put in the NFL, Mississippi Valley, Jackson State. The first player to be drafted in the NFL from an HBCU came from Alcorn. We got some history that people need to know about, and perhaps Deion needs to know. I don't even know if he knows the history. But I think it was just a better way to do all of this if it would have been done as a conglomerate of all of the schools together with a plan. We wouldn't have this infighting. And this is why I'm Black. But Black people make me sick. We take opportunities, and we screw them up. This is a great opportunity for us, but we are going to kill ourselves once again.
I want to interject something
Thank you for
you
the call.
said about him meeting with the coaches. Now, that's not his job. That person's job is Dr. Charles McClellan. He is the commissioner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. He's the one who's supposed to fix the conference. He's the one who's supposed to bring them coaches together and cut out all of this infight. So what I'm saying, after what has happened on yesterday, it's time for Dr. Charles McClellan to step up and be a commissioner. Okay? It's time for him to step up, bring these coaches together, unite these coaches. Okay? They're competitive on the field, but we don't need to have this foolishness. I told my wife when it happened yesterday, the first thing my wife said, that wasn't right. And I told her, I said, you know what? The national media ain't going to say nothing about the game. They ain't going to say nothing about Shadua. All they going to do is blow up that press conference and that handshake. And that's what when we got up this morning, it was everywhere. Like I told you, it's the third biggest article on the ESPN website. So the person that needs to do those things you just talked about is Dr. Charles McClellan. He needs to fix the SWAC. He needs to end the infighting and unite the brethren in the SWAC.
All right, what's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, it's LOL. How are you, Mr. Ford? How are you, Buzz?
Hey, how you doing, LOL?
I'm just catching the end of this, but I want you guys to know that I was at the game. We were at the game, maybe like 7 of us. And I must say, because I know they got a lot of trolls on here, I must say it was a beautiful stadium. It really was. But it also was a hostile environment. You guys didn't see behind the scenes. They wanted to kick our behinds if we lost, and we didn't lose. So, I mean, if we won, they wanted to fight. It was a lot of hostility. But what I want to talk about is the referees. You know, at the first and second quarter, I really thought that the referee were trying to fix this game somehow, like they had a little thing. It just didn't seem real. It seemed like they wasn't calling anything. They wasn't calling anything at all. And third, I want to talk about, because I don't want to be here winded online long, is I didn't see the apologies from Eddie Robinson, but I noticed that when he played UCLA, he practically was kissing their asses. Okay, he was buddy, and huggy. And now when Prime tried to shake his hand, he was disrespectful. And I just think, like, you know, as Black people, we got to do better, because this is going to follow him. Whether he apologized or not, this is going to follow him. He's going to be remembered for TikTok, for the moment that he showed his ass out there on the field. That's what he's going to be remembered for. Nothing matters other than that, because I just felt like it was so disrespectful. You know, I mean, like Coach says, don't let my confidence affect your insecurities. And he was insecure because he lost. So once we got our W, we got in the car and we left, because it just looked like it was going to be a fight.
Right.
Period.
All right. Thank you for the call.
So that's all I wanted to say, that it was very hostile from the beginning to the end. It was very hostile.
All right. Thank you for the call. Let me get to the next person. All right. Let me get to the next caller. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, SWAC Buzz? This is Matthew from Minneapolis.
What's going on, Matthew?
Hey, is Mr. Ford on the line?
Yeah, I'm right here. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ford? How you doing?
All right.
You know, one of the famous saying, a wise man once said, the best classroom in the world is at the feet of an elder. Mr. Ford, you be bringing it all the time, Mr. Ford.
Thank you.
You know, I think about if you were the SWAC commissioner, you know, how things would be in the SWAC. And I don't just say that lightly. Really have a misrespect for you.
Thank you.
As you are a SWAC savant. You know, the thing that happened, I'm a Jackson State grad. I think it was the same time, went there same time around you, SWAC Buzz. I graduated in 2007. I was a marketing major when Dr. Glenda Glover, you know, was the president, and now she's the president of course, TSU. Mr. Ford continues to say this, right? How we have to, the blue bloods and HBCUs, we need to build them up like academically, which we have been doing for a very long time. And then we need to pour into the athletic budgets in a way and get creative and innovative around doing that. Because if we're honest, North Carolina A&T, they're a shell of what they once were.
There you go. Thank you.
And they're the lot. And let's be honest, they're the largest HBCU on the planet.
Yeah.
And even they have a limit, 13, 14,000. If we want to,
that's right.
And if we want, President Hudson and A.D. Robinson made a phenomenal decision, but we need the Southerns of the world. We need the Gramblin's of the world, which Grambling has done. We need the Ed Reeds to come to the SWAC. We need the Ray Lewises to come to the SWAC. Because that's the quickest way to build our athletic. Although Jackson State, we don't have our athletic budget hasn't immensely grown up. We've been laying the infrastructure the last 2 years for it to go to $20 billion.
Right.
And we have to think about the other sports as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
What about
That's
the
right.
FAMU women's basketball team? What about the Alcorn track team? What about UAPB's baseball team? We have to think about the other sports as well.
Right.
And you're right. Once we can get the Blue Bloods up to a $25 million budget, we won't have to have this conversation about us jumping because we built up the SWAC comprehensively then.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And
and one thing I've always said, now you take that game yesterday with Jackson State and Alabama State. They're saying that 40% of the revenues has to go to the conference office.
Thanks for the call.
I agree with that. No more than 25%. No, I want that school, that money to stay with the institutions. I don't want all that money going to the conference office. I need that money to stay. When Mississippi Valley got a game, they need to keep 75% of the money. When Pine Bluff plays a game, 75% of that money needs to stay at Pine Bluff. Same thing at Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
We don't need to send all the money to the conference office.
Right. Coach Prime was saying that too. Let me get to the next caller. Hold on just a second. What's going on, Collie Live? Talk to me.
What's going on, Sweat Buzz, man? I thank you for taking my call. And how you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Doing great. How you?
Good hearing from you. Yeah. So I wanted to start off with a couple of things. I got a couple of points. First of all, I just want to say this. We've lived long enough, and we all know we're living with life. Everybody's not gonna like you, even when you're doing something for them. And so people need to realize that you can help family members. You do all you can, break your back, do all you can, and people still ungrateful and unappreciative. So
there you go.
You just gotta take it for what it is. It is what it is. It's just what it is. And I was thinking about what the coach said. He was like, he not SWAC. And then I was thinking about the caller who just called in, the doctor, that said that how about it should have been somebody in house or how he came in. I'm gonna give you a prime example on how Deion was sent. He was God sent. Let me tell you why. When a man and a woman having issues and they need marital counseling, what do? You don't go to somebody in house because ain't nothing gonna get resurrected because somebody's gonna take somebody's side. You get an outside source so you can deal with your issues. In-house, you're not going to get anything done. We needed somebody on the outside with the outside lines, with the outside publicity to help for inside. The thing is, too, I hate how the media blew this up because they need to treat this just like they did with Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. They said even though they spewed, it's good press. Instead of demoralizing the coaches and talking about, about this and they're trying to basically excoriate because we know why, because of the skin color. But use it just like you did Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, because they the interconference, just like Coach Robinson and Coach Sanders do the same exact way where you said it's good, all press is good press, and they had recruits at their games as well. The same way. So they need to use it the same way. Say, hey, y'all got some fiery coaches, which they call it passion when they do it. We're angry when we do it. You know how they do it. And so you should say, hey, it's great press. And like I say, we just gotta realize what it is. That's why I say we know they're gonna blow it out of proportion. We know what the underlying tone is. But look, guys, just remember, no matter what you do, long as you fulfilling your purpose, everybody not gonna be happy for what you're doing. It's not.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
And
let me add this to your point. Now we have forgotten this, but a year before
Thank you for the call, brother.
Martin Luther King was assassinated at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, his American approval rating was less than 25%. That's Martin Luther King. They loved him more when he was dead. That's how this country was.
Let me say this real quick. Yeah. Shout out to Tiffany Williams for the Cash App contribution and Derek Anderson for the Cash App contribution. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for that. Let me go to the next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, Buzz, what up, bro? This is Kobe.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, what's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Ford, how you doing?
Hey, y'all,
this is Kobe from Blick City Podcast. If y'all not following him, make sure y'all go follow him.
Yeah. Kobe, I love you, man.
One of the best channels.
I watch you all listen, I watch you at school.
Yeah.
Shoot.
One of the best HBCU channels, man. One of the best channels covering HBCU, man. Go ahead, Kobe.
Yeah, you done changed the name of your show.
Yeah. I couldn't keep CFL no more. You know, that's trademark. I couldn't keep that.
Okay. Yeah. You know, we love you, man.
I appreciate it.
Somebody trademarked it? Somebody trademarked it or was already trademarked?
Yeah, because you know, like the CFL league.
Oh,
like,
okay,
I couldn't keep it.
Okay,
so that was that. But you know, I just want to say, man, I've been on Twitter all day, going back and forth with folks, and it's really blowing me how people don't even really agree with Alabama State. They just don't like Jackson State, so it's kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of situation. You feel me?
Right.
Like people automatically taking Alabama State side because of what Coach Palm may have done something or said something to their school. So now it's like, okay, well, let's join in and let's defend the BS. I don't care what you say. There's no money game comment that could warrant being called a bitch ass nigga. No comment.
Right.
No comment warrants that. No, there's no reason for you as a head coach to get upset at a backup quarterback getting a series in for you to act the way that you did. For me, like the reason why I don't respect Coach Robinson's actions is because if I don't like somebody, I'm letting that be known from the jump. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hug you. I don't even want to meet you at the half field. I'm gonna wave at you maybe, and then I'm gonna walk my ass to the locker room. But you chose to meet him at midfield, and then throw a little tantrum, and then you wanted to act hard in the press conference. Like, nah, I don't respect that. I respect Maynard so much. Maynard stands on what he says. Like I knew how Maynard was from the jump, and when he got that whooping, he took it like a man.
Yeah, he did.
He took it like a man.
He did.
You know, like I don't like how Robinson went about the situation. It ain't real to me. His action, his energy, it wasn't real to me. You know, you got players calling the water girls bitches. And I felt like
try to keep the language down, Kobe. Try not to curse on the stream because you know how YouTube is.
I got you. But you got the players calling the water girls bees. I felt like once that video came out, it should have been no more talking. Because number one, you blatantly lied to everybody by saying that we didn't say anything during pregame. That's strike one right there. You blatantly lied. You feel me? But nobody wants to hold this man accountable. Nobody wants to hold Alabama State accountable for how they acted because they are so blinded by their dislike for this man, Coach Prime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy to me. Like as grown people, as grown adults, man, we got high school energy regarding stuff like this. That should be obvious. We should all be on one accord with this situation.
It's back in the day when I was in college, I had a professor. They called it the crabs in the bucket syndrome. He said, "What we have, the problem we got is one brother tries to go up, 4 or 5 other brothers get together to pull him down, and you can see that." What's happening with him in this situation. Now, I'm going to just be honest with you. I've always been a fan of Eddie Robinson. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I remember when he initially came to Alabama State. I knew members of the coaching staff at that time. His defense coordinator was Jerome Harper. His head coach was he was out of Vicksburg, Houston Markham. Markham came to Alabama State from Jackson State. He was the offensive coordinator for W.C. Gordon. And as far as Ed is concerned, I've always had the utmost respect for him as a player at Alabama State. I thought he represented the SWAC when he was with the Houston Oilers in a first-class manner. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just now getting over the shock of what happened with him yesterday, because I've never seen that out. Everything, I remember when he was a commentator for ESPN, he's always been first class. He's always been first. And that thing yesterday just hurt me. And like I said, I will apologize for him, because he's one of my favorites. I've always liked Eddie Robinson.
Kobe.
And I think that he was on one of the, if not the best Alabama State team that I've ever seen. Now, that's my lifetime. That 91 or 92 team, I think they went undefeated, and they beat North Carolina A&T in the Heritage Bowl down in Miami, I believe it was. Kobe, but he was on that team.
All right, Ms. Ford, let me let Kobe know this real quick. Hey, Kobe, drop your YouTube channel in the chat, and I'll pin it so people can follow your channel. I'm going to get on to these other callers, but I appreciate you calling, Kobe. Thank you.
But, hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, it's a great show.
Thank you, man. You know I'll be listening to you all the time.
Yes, sir. You already know his love over here, Mr. Ford.
Oh yeah.
Drop the link in the chat, Kobe.
All right, I got you, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. And also, Dr. Smith, appreciate that contribution. Thank you for that. Let me get to the next caller. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
How you doing today, Swag Bud?
Doing great. Go ahead.
That's good. I got a couple questions. I was trying to find out about this yesterday. That I wanted to know why everybody wanted to blame Deion Sanders for everything and not looking at Coach Rob. There's a lot that people got to find out that it's not because Jackson State hired the man to be a head coach and he trying to take over the SWAC. He's just making it better. I think the doctor called in earlier, and she hollered out and said that he was trying to take over. And what we need to understand that he's not trying to take over. When he first got into the SWAC meeting, I heard Mr. Ford, and I hope you're doing well too.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm blessed. Got a question for you. You was talking about the SWAC commission, about he needs to step up. I do think that he needs to step up, but don't you think the athletic directors need to step up too? Because all this.
Now the reason I said that is because that's in his job description. One of the things he's supposed to do is to keep it unified. He's supposed to keep down confusion. He's supposed to come up with a financial plan. When it's all said and done, he's like a principal. Everything that goes on in the school is under him. So that's why I'm saying that the confusion, like I heard about the situation at Prairie View about the fighting and the spitting and all that. He's got to take actions on that. Something's got to be done about that. And I think that he needs to pen a letter according to protocol and how we're supposed to act after the game. Because let me say something. If you don't address what happened yesterday, that's going to happen again.
Right.
And see, that's low class. We're trying to be high class. We ain't trying to be low class. And so that's why I said Dr. Charles McClellan, who I love, I think is one of the greatest SWAC presidents we ever had, but he got to do his job now. He got to do what he's supposed to do. It's time for him to step up.
All right, Ms. Ford, let me get to the next caller. Hold on.
Okay.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
What's the word, my dude?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. This Coach Walker, bro. What's happening?
Oh, what's going on, Coach Walker? We got all the YouTube channels are calling in tonight. All y'all calling in tonight.
Yesterday.
Hey, I was down there. What you talking about, man?
Yeah, I heard it was a big crowd. So y'all had a traffic jam was all over Southwest Atlanta yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can't wait till y'all get back.
All of y'all calling in tonight. Make sure y'all drop y'all links in the chat, man, so people can follow y'all platforms.
Will do.
Go ahead.
You know, I was just sitting over here working on some stuff and saw you popped up. I was like, whoa, let me see what's going on with SWAC over here. I'm like, okay. I'm like, good night. I'm like, boy, this thing here crazy. But I'm just like, this is my take. There's a lot more to this than just that action. And the reason why I say is because of the fact that right now, this man got a lot of pressure on his chest right now. Don't quite understand how it feels to be the rapper with the gun when you got to be that guy that's the head coach. You the face.
Yeah.
Listening to them young men talk like that to those people as well as those young ladies. First of all, you the leader.
Yeah.
So if you lead, if you're not leading by the example that you're telling these young men that they're supposed to lead by, what we own. You can't, like I said, you came out here at the end of this game. I don't give a daggone if you know somebody went ahead and dropped some popcorn on the daggone field. You know, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, guys, shake hands. We'll deal with this other madness back in the back. We put this on display for everybody to see.
Yeah.
And that's all ESPN has been running.
That's it. There you go.
It doesn't matter if we have a network or not. I'm tired of hearing that. Hey man, we got to have a network. We got to do this. We got to look. Listen. Just like the incident that happened with the Golden State Warriors, you had somebody inside filming it, and they got it outside to the masses.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you have. People want to find a way to make something news. But I honestly feel that this man here has an issue that's going on right now that's brewing up. It's brewing up. He's trying to figure out, okay, how in the world do I manage this? And the thing is that you have so many people that are asking questions now. Like, okay, hey, we got all these athletes in here. What we got going on? I'm like, that display, all of that display was just blatant disrespect. It ain't about choosing no side. I'm looking at it from a wider lens as far as what's going on with this.
Right.
Because as I stated before, you have to put on in some manner, way, shape, or form to let your folks know, hey, listen, we ain't tolerating this. Because you already know they're going to be on your head because you lost.
Right.
So
it is what it is. What's up?
So when you seen the handshake yesterday, how do you feel about the reaction from the people blaming Coach Prime for the way the handshake went down? I seen people saying Coach Prime was in the wrong. I couldn't believe that.
What? You got to understand this, bro. With everything that's happening right now, no one expected for this to turn into the phenomenon that it's turned into.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, it's like it was cool where, you know, like I said, I sit back and I watch a lot of different stuff with, you know, that's going on with the schools. And I like to go back and check history as far as certain things that I bring to the masses for them to hear and understand. And even if I have it wrong, I'm like, hey, you know what? I appreciate you giving me some insight. Maybe I should have went this direction instead of the direction that I went to further get people to understand, okay, listen, I'm here trying to give you content that, you know, that has some substance, it's got some bite. It's not just a bunch of fluff and bull junk. They're going to blame, if this man came out there to the daggone middle field or wherever it was, they shake hands, he had a cup of tea in his hands, trying to go ahead and get some lemon, you know, some tea with lemon in it to make sure his voice was right to come in there and do the post-game conference. They still would have said he was wrong.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. Whatever this man does is going to be wrong, regardless of how anybody feel about it. It's just going to be what it's going to be. And I think he's at the point now where he understands that. But what bothered me the most was when you sit here and say that I hope he don't never get a Power 5 position. I'm like, what? What does this have to do with the game?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
What does this have to do with the game, man?
Yeah, I think it's a little jealousy in there. But let me get to these other callers, Coach Walker.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. We'll talk to you.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right, let me get to the next one.
That's the first thing I thought of. Jealousy, enviness.
What's going on, caller? You live?
Crabs in the barrel.
Talk to me, caller. You live? What's going on, caller? You live? Hello, caller.
Yo. What's up, SWAC?
Hey, how you doing?
Cool. Hey, Mr. Ford, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. So I just want to kind of chime in. So, first and foremost, Dr. Smith is actually my relative. We kind of been debating this whole Deion Prime fiasco, since he got there at Jackson State. And me and her share some, I guess, common thoughts, and then we kind of have a difference of opinion. I don't think that Deion is necessarily trying to take over the SWAC. No. I think that he's doing some improvements, and I think that sometimes his approach may be a little off-putting to some people. But overall, we got to stop pointing fingers and hold ourselves accountable. I attended UAPB. Most of my family attended Grambling. I've been around the SWAC since the days of Coach Rob at Grambling. Seen a lot of different players.
Right.
I think that we hadn't gotten this much attention in decades, and we got to hold ourselves accountable. There's a lot going on administratively. There's a lot going on with athletic directors. There's a lot going on with commissioners. I'm personally, I kind of know some ins and outs on the band side of things. So there's a lot of stuff that we need to clean up. But yeah, everybody has to be accountable. It's not all on one person. Coach Prime isn't, not to be blasphemous, but he's not Moses. What I'm saying? Like he's not here to clean up everything, but I mean the man's doing the best he can, and it's, to me, when everybody's kind of piling on, I think that it's counterproductive at the end of the day. I think that
Can I make this statement right? Can I say this?
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you what Deion and what Jackson State is doing.
Thank you for the call, Colin.
You got two kinds of people in the SWAC right now. You got those people who are competent, and you got those people who are incompetent. Deion Sanders and that President Hudson and that A.D. Ashley Roberts, they are exposing these people who are incompetent and not doing their job. That's where all that hatred and jealousy and envy is coming out, because he's exposing them people. Okay? And see, that's why I don't understand why Eddie Robinson is acting the way he is, because Quentin Ross will give him anything he wants. That guy, Jason Cable down there, Jason is, I don't put him right there with Ashley, but he's not too far behind now. They'll give him anything he wants. It's what is his mind about? Because like I said, he has NFL connections. That's what Deion is doing. Deion is bringing NFL connections and principles to the SWAC. Eddie can do the same thing. But then you dip and do this old ignorant stuff. Listen, that's why all these people are upset, because he exposing these incompetent people who got these jobs, don't need the job, not doing the job, and then they don't want to do nothing. He's exposing them.
All right, Ms. Ford, real quick, y'all. We got over 600 people in the chat. We only got 200, a little over 200 likes. Y'all disrespecting the channel. Come on now. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Close the chat out for 1 second. Hit the like button, then open the chat again, and y'all can go at it in the comments. I know y'all be just going back and forth in the comments. Let me get to the next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on? Caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, bro? This one calling out of Florida, man. I'm gonna make this real quick. What I see going on here, man, it's simple. From what I noticed, I give it about 45, 50 years plus. Those coaches in the SWAC, they've been sitting down. They ain't been ruffling no feathers with the D1 boys. They ain't been yelling at no networks. They've been taking them little pennies, man. They've been sitting back saying, okay, that's cool. How we gonna do it? Well, guess what? Prime come there and say, hey, well, this is what we need. We're going to show y'all D1 boys why you need to tighten them belts. We're going to show ABC, NBC, CBS, or ESPN why you need to put some cameras on that field. Let me ask you this question. Before Prime got there, when the last time you saw a SWAC team on the cover of Sports Illustrated? When the last time?
It was Steve McNair.
And how many years ago that was?
Oh, that was 1994. Was it 94?
Okay, and that's too long.
And the one before that was 85 when Eddie Robinson
over 25 years.
Bear Bryant's record.
Over 25 years.
Exactly. Now here we go. Let me ask you this: when the last time y'all saw a D1 commit switch and go to HBCU? Now keep in mind, we done had some Hall of Famers and Super Bowl champs that came out of HBCUs. That's because they didn't get accepted into D1 back then. Travis Hunter, prime example. I'm gonna make this real quick. I don't know where he could have went. Could have went to Florida State. Could have went to Texas A&M. Could have went to Alabama, UCLA. The man switched and went to JSU.
Right.
Jackson State, Deion, he raising that bomb, man. Because some teams, they've been sitting back for too many years collecting them pennies, man. Get that money. Get on them big books. And with that being said, I appreciate your call. I appreciate y'all letting me call. And y'all be blessed.
All right. Thank you for the
have
call.
a great one here.
Let me get to the next one. I appreciate this caller. You've been holding on for a long time. I appreciate you. Let me get you on. What's going on, caller? Live, talk to me.
What's up? Man, I was just trying to say a couple things.
Go ahead.
I've seen a funny skit. I want y'all to become this man, Thad Boy, because I see that you use your platform to amplify some other guy, which is the player and boss by you. You and Mr. Ford. That's y'all uplifting black people, man. And this guy Thad Boy, he reenacted Coach Prime at the press conference, man. It's hilarious, man. Just to let everybody watch something funny, man, to uplift the spirits at this time. Two, man, I love how Coach Prime, when in his interview, man, he did a couple weeks ago, where he broke down about he was trying to even give props to Alabama State and trying to help them out with some games the weeks before, when he was talking about they went all the way out to UCLA and only got $500,000. But then when he broke down all them fees, he said a lot of these people, man, he said not only don't leave it up to the president, don't leave it up to the director. Some of these coaches need to ask how much these fees. Because he said when you getting that money and they splitting that money amongst the school, he's like, you gotta think about travel expenses, upkeep. You got to fly your team, the band, all that out. He said, man, you look up, you'll be in the hole going out there. So you did 2 losses. You lost the game and you didn't make no money. And he was breaking down the game, man. And so he like you say, Coach Prime doing what he's supposed to do. Everybody not gonna like what you're doing at the time, man. It's everybody gonna eat at the table, and you gonna hear nothing from nobody. Another thing is too, I want to ask you and Mr. Ford, who y'all think coming out in the MEAC, man? Because it's up in the air to me right now. So I just wanted to see who y'all gonna.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to tell.
Last week everybody wanted to get rid of Dawson Odoms. He turned around to beat Morgan State.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. My sister went to Hampton, so we know about Norfolk State, right? I visited Norfolk State several times while she was at Hampton. To me, Norfolk State reminds me of Southern University. Norfolk should be dominating the MEAC in every sport, not just football. They should be dominating women's basketball, baseball, track and field. That was the kind of feel I got when I visited Norfolk State. Now, of course, the best-looking team I've seen so far in that MEAC has to be North Carolina Central. Now, for me, it's been North Carolina Central. But now, let me just say this now. Don't put nothing past Buddy Pugh. You know how he is now, and he's the dean. So that race getting ready to heat up.
Yeah, I think it's too hard to tell right now because they pretty much just getting started. You might have a 6-6 team or a 6-5 team, because I want to say South Carolina State was 6-5 or something like that last year.
Yeah,
when they went to so you might have a team like that go to the Celebration Bowl this year. We don't know. Let me get to this next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Caller Live? Talk to me.
Hey, SWAC, how you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Hey, I'm a big Jackson State supporter, season ticket holder, follow them everywhere. I like everything Coach Prime doing. But I do want to say this. The routine that Coach Prime has at home games, he may need to adjust that when he go to other people's places. Because even when he was walking through and those kids were cussing, which they were wrong, he shouldn't even been on that end. There's a video when Shador is even on the end with that other team. He may need to adjust that when he goes to other places, because that's going to always cause conflict.
That's a good point.
But that's why you got security, though.
Yeah.
Well, but Mr. Ford, you've been around a long time. You've never saw you see that nowhere though, where that coach is walking through on the other end with other players and all that. I know security and all that. Some things are football etiquette, and if you keep doing that, that's gonna cause some problems on other people's turf. At home, that's fine. You can keep your routine, but when you go to somebody else's house, they may not. What's disrespectful to you in your house may not be disrespecting someone else somewhere else because he was on the end. He was on the end with their players.
That's a good point.
Now,
a lot of people don't think about
Eddie
that.
did speak about, he was saying that he didn't come and talk to him. Now, I grew up where we would see Big John Merritt talking with Jake Gaither. We would see W.C. Gordon talking with Eddie Robinson. We would see Cassim talking with Eddie Robinson. But I like I said, now it's supposed to be a protocol down on that field. See, if you're not wearing what they call an all-access badge, or you're not wearing a press badge, you shouldn't even be down there on that field.
Right.
Now, I don't know how I haven't been to the game in a little while. But you shouldn't be down there.
But Mr. Ford, you've never seen it. You've never seen where other coaches just go and walk through other team on the other end, walk through their players and stuff. I know that's his routine, but that's gonna always cause problems. I played college basketball, a little pro ball, and if you mix teams and coaches and stuff, it was always conflict. That routine he has, he may need to adjust that when he's on the road or walking through on the other end, walking through their players and walking around their sideline. I know that's his routine, but he may need to take a look at that because everybody's not happy with that. Everybody don't like what you're doing. Because what you do at home, you can't always do everywhere else.
And see, that's why I said,
thank you for the call,
that the commissioner needs to put something in writing. Okay, that's what I'm saying. See, some of these problems we running across, that comes under the description of the commissioner's job. Okay, he's got to step up. Okay, we can talk about this, but he's in control of something called the bylaws. Then he needs to step up and make a decision on whether he can do that or not. That's what I'm saying. I like Dr. Charles McClellan. I like what he's doing, but it's time for him to step up. He got to be more of an authoritarian figure right now.
All right, y'all. Let's get the likes up to 400. See if we can get to 400 tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Let me go get to the next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
What's up, SWAC Buzz? This is Yusuf.
Hey, how you doing, Yusuf?
What's going on? What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I got one question. I think when I saw that, it looked like he had that already planned, Coach Robinson. Do you think it's like some kind of recruiting ploy? Because he's asking to be Jackson State's homecoming next year. Do you think that's some kind of scheme to get more recruits to fabricate a rivalry with Jackson State?
I thought that, you know what, I'm kind of like you. I thought I thought that heated up the rivalry. And I'm going to tell you something. I think that Coach Fry and them going to take him up on that. I really do.
Yeah, I believe that too.
I think they're going to take him up on that. And I think that now, let me say, that has always been kind of a hot rivalry. Now, Jackson has always dominated it. Okay, now,
before your phone breaking
Comegy's dominated it. W.C. Gordon dominated it. Kind of got out of little hand, with them people like Tony Hughes and Harold Jackson. Because, that was a big skirmish a few years ago when Harold Jackson was down there. They fought in Montgomery. His team and the Alabama State's team fought down there. But, yeah, that rivalry got a little hotter after yesterday. It got a little hotter.
And I'm sending a message. We're going to get some recruits so we can be this rivalry with Jackson State. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you for the call. Let me get to the next caller.
I think that Eddie can get some kids. I think that Eddie can get to, and I think I've said this to a lot of people. See, personally, I'm saying that we're going to see Pham, we're going to see Jackson, we're going to see Southern, we're going to see Grambling. These people are going to get 5-star athletes. It's coming.
All right, hold on just a second.
Jackson has already done it, but those other schools are going to do it too.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, this is SWAC again, Mr. Ford. I got some questions for y'all. I forgot to ask y'all. So 2 things. Since we at the half mark of the season, because I love listening to y'all insight. Who are y'all disappointed teams, and who are y'all most surprising good teams, and as well as cause I want to see which game was y'all thinking about. Are y'all gonna try to attend the Jackson State Southern game or the homecoming game? And because I think, to me, the most disappointing team was Grambling to me. because they coach came in kind of with the same kind of status where Deion was, where he had that background, and it was like it's either gonna be a hit or a miss.
Yeah,
And,
I think.
So I just feel like they the most, and because to me they were doomed when they went to the media day dressed like the stylistics. I knew then they were gonna have a bad season, so I was like, yeah, it's bad for them. But I wanted to know who y'all most surprising team and who y'all most disappointing team for the have so far the year. Thank you.
I would say my most surprising team would be pretty much Alabama State, and then the most disappointing was Grambling, because I thought Grambling was going to be a very good team this season, and they just been very disappointing. But appreciate the call, Mr. Ford. You want to chime in on
the
on
team
that?
that had me just totally just out of pocket, who I really thought was going to challenge Jackson State this year, was Florida A&M. I was so disappointed with them and the administration and the athletic director. I love Willie Simmons, but I was now they're coming back. The team that has surprised me the most is Alcorn, because everybody had wrote them off. That's going to be a really big game next week. I think Alcorn goes into Baton Rouge. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that game. Now, here's the thing. I said this all this summer. I told y'all, one thing you didn't have to worry about was Eric Dooley was going to put 40 and 50 points on the board. But that guy Henry Miller will give up 40 and 50 points. But from what I'm seeing now, as long as Jason Dumas on that field, it's hard to beat Southern, baby. So listen, this thing is getting hotter. Especially that SWAC West, that's a hot race over there, baby. Listen, you got Southern and Alcorn this week.
Mr. Ford, your phone kind of breaking up. You might want to move to a better area. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, SWAC Buzz, Mr. Ford. How you guys doing? I haven't spoken to you guys in a while. It's Chris Tapper, San Antonio, Texas.
What's going on? Yeah, Mr. Ford, just move to a better area. Your phone was cracking up.
Okay. Right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now. What's going on, caller?
Okay. Yeah.
Talk to me.
Hey, Mr. Ford, I can hear you good, sir. So I'm driving, guys. I heard some of the content, but I did see the subject matter. In my opinion, guys, from being a college ball player, HBCU, to now coaching at the charter school, I think that us as a people, sometimes we throw the word disrespect, that phrase, that word around a little bit too much. Yeah, Coach Prime, he was chirping all week. I don't believe it was in a disrespectful way. I believe it was in a salesy kind of way. And let's face the fact here, Mr. Ford, you know this, SB, you know this. Whenever a team purposely schedule you for their homecoming, that is a little bit a smack in the face. Like, you think you can beat us at your homecoming? Like, really? And as far as Coach Prime go, the bottom line, guys, is this: everything is not a disrespect. If he's been walking around end zones and football fields like that since he's been coaching, I live here in Texas. He coached there in Trinity in high school. He's been doing that, guy, since he played and was a coach. Okay, that's not a disrespect. We throw that word around a little bit too much. I don't see the disrespect in that, even if you are in someone else's house. That's number one. Number two, the last point is this: that has nothing to do with those young men, those young black men, talking to Coach Prime and calling him F this, F that, the way that they were. Who's raising you? Show some damn respect. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's all on Coach Robinson. He fed that fire. I do believe that Coach Prime, played his part, but I do believe SB and Mr. Ford, it was very subtle. I don't believe it was a disrespect intent whatsoever. He has been doing that. And again, what does they have to do with those young men speaking the way that they were? That was the disrespect part. Who's raising y'all? Seriously.
Right. I appreciate the call, and I appreciate you tuning in to the channel. Thank you for the call.
Hey, it's like.
Oh, my bad. I made a mistake and clicked you off, but appreciate the call, caller. Let me get to the next one. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, after the game, like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's crazy. And then with the whole thing with Shador, walking on the other side, I was like, I don't know. That's Coach Prime like routine. So I don't understand. Like, every other team might not necessarily have a problem with it. You didn't see anybody come out, publicly saying, anything they had an issue with it. So why should, State? But also, if I'm JSU, I'm not doing them no favors. I want to put them on my schedule next year, or the schedule, or the year after. No, I'm not doing you no favors. You want to, be a hypocrite. On one hand, he's saying, he's a great coach, and Shador should, be a Heisman, candidate. On the other hand, they're not SWAC. Like me personally, I won't do them no favors. But I don't know what you think about that. Like if they don't play them again. So JSU.
Well, they have to play. They're on the same side. Both of them are on the east side.
Yeah.
They have to play. They have to. There's no way of getting around not playing them now. They got to play them.
Yeah, they're in the same division, so they got to play.
They're in the same division. They're on the east side.
No, okay, well, sure. They got to come. They got to go to JSU.
Yeah,
they got to go to JSU.
Yeah, next year they'll be doing that. All right, thank you for the call.
Now, historically,
let me get to the next
Jackson
person.
has always dominated that series. Now, that was a time, like I say, with that Coach Markham, he had some victories, but basically Jackson has always dominated the see. Alabama State came into the SWAC around 82. SWAC, you need to do the research on it. I think they came in around 82 or 83, and they've never really had a good series with Jackson State. Jackson has always dominated Alabama State.
All right, let's see who this next caller is. Hold on just a second. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. All right, let's see who this next caller is. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're gonna have to turn the background down so it won't loop back on the stream.
Okay. I did. How's it now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, good, gentlemen. It's so good to listen to you all. Good show. But listen, I'm going to go in a different direction. Let me ask you this question, folks, because I'm here based in Atlanta, and I've been in Atlanta 30 years and involved in the University of Politics. What is the largest university by enrollment in the state of Georgia?
It's Kennesaw State.
No, actually, it's Georgia State University. Georgia State University.
Oh, you're right. That's right. Yeah. I think they were 53,000.
No. Total it's 42 with part-time and full-time, but they have 31,900 full-time. Okay. It's an urban downtown Atlanta. Let me tell you something.
Right.
Now, listen, we've been pushing this for a while. Listen, 40% of the student body is minority.
Right.
40%.
Yeah, 20,000 of the students are black.
Right.
That's correct. Very good. Okay. When you go to Georgia State and that campus, it's an urban campus. It's not your traditional campus. Okay. We got a stadium that seats 45,000 that we don't quite fill up. And guess what? We're in the SBC, Appalachian State, Old Dominion, James Madison, which about right?
Your Sun Belt.
Caller, go on, get to the point, caller. I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting on the plot.
Hey, everybody keep talking about Georgia Tech and everything like that. And watch it now, watch it. And and Georgia State got black president. Just got there, been there 9 months. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm just saying. Watch it. Prime got options that can get him in a Power 5 situation. You know what I mean? And
right.
Yeah. And listen, keep doing BS stuff like that. Like I said, everybody ain't ready for prime time.
Right.
Everybody ain't ready for prime time.
And I don't think Charlie Cobb is the AD over there at
thank you for the call.
Georgia State. He came from Appalachian State. He ain't ready for prime time either. I can't see Charlie, and I can't even see Charlie recommending prime time.
Yeah,
he's not that kind.
Yeah, I don't know what that call was about, but appreciate the call, caller. Yeah, let's go on to the next person. All right. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. What's going on, caller? Hello. Going once, going twice. All right, go.
Sonic Boom, I agree with that. You're right. With that big old Veterans Memorial Stadium, baby.
What's going on, caller? Live? Talk to me.
Good evening, man. How you fellas doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well. This is Mike D, man. I'm calling from Dallas, UAPB. But I've been listening to the podcast tonight, and I just want to put my perspective on it.
Okay.
Deion, I feel like Deion was in the wrong. Cause like Coach Robinson, what he stated, you talked about me all throughout the week. You bashed me, you bashed the team. You walk, in between my team before the game. And Deion is right. He does walk the field prior to the game. But however, when you see that the team is in the opposing team is in your pathway, walk down on your side so this don't even happen. And I'm a fan of Deion. I'm a fan of Deion, the player. I'm the fan of Deion, the coach, the interview, the commentator when he was on NFL Network and CBS. However, when you a Hall of Famer, you have to walk in some type of humility. And this is one of the reasons why, Deion didn't get considered as a head coach at Arkansas and TCU. Arkansas, our AD, he said it outright. He said, hey, Deion, we was very impressed. He killed the interview, but a lot of these Power 5 teams, they'll never give Deion that opportunity because of the baggage that comes with him. Is he a good coach? Yes. Is he a great influencer? Yes. But it's the little things, and it's how you win. And and I think that's the big picture. That's what Coach Robinson was trying to get at that press conference last night. That's the reason why, Eddie Robinson is so great. Pete Richardson is so great. It's how they won. And they won with humility. So once Deion learned and passed that test and evolve and grow as a person, then Deion would be able to impact so many lives, in this world, especially our black, student athletes. But that's all I have to say.
Let me ask you this. Did Muhammad Ali have any humility when he was engaging in boxing?
That's true, Mr. Ford. That's a good point. So let me get to the mayor. The mayor is calling in. Mayor Lumumba. What's going on, Mayor? What's going on with you tonight?
Oh, nothing much. How you brothers doing?
Doing good.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. I want to come from a different perspective. I don't know if any other call-outs come from this, but for me, with the situation between Deion and Eddie Robinson Jr., I'm glad it happened for 3 reasons. One, I feel like it's going to make the team and the school rally around Coach Prime and dig in and stop taking these games for granted. I think it's become personal because I don't think Eddie Robinson Jr. is the only coach and only team that feels a certain way about prime time at Deion. That's the first.
Oh, you're correct on that.
You got to beat him, though. You got to beat him.
You're right. That's what I said.
If you want to shut him up, you got to beat him.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. I feel like Jackson State sometimes, you can buy into the Hollywood of it, the hype, and you come in and you play down to your competition. I think this is going to make our team come in and try to stump everybody out, to really embody that concept of being dominant the way Deion has talked about it. Because people coming for you now. It's out there in the open now.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
One of them called Temple and one called Southern University, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. As soon as this game was over, the first thing that came to my mind, 2 teams, Southern and Alcorn.
Yeah, Alcorn's coming too. Because remember, that's an in-state rivalry, brother. That means that, that's brothers against brothers, sisters against sisters. So when it comes to that game, Alcorn and Jackson, you throw out the records. It's blood, baby. That's family.
If they want to shut Deion up, and they want him to stop doing all this bragging and all this showboating, you got to beat him. You see what they did to Coach Maynard.
That's right, what
Coach Maynard was on there talking a lot of noise. He was doing a lot of talking, and what they do, they beat him. They blew him out 60-something to 15, and Coach Maynard been quiet ever since. So if you want to quiet a coach up, that's how you do it. You got to beat him.
Got to beat him.
Yes, sir.
And as long as you win, you say whatever you want to say.
Exactly, and I think he would accept it, just like he was a good sportsman when they put the video up of him. I mean, the picture up. You know, he didn't cry about that.
And I continue to say, I think Eddie lost his composure yesterday.
Thank you for the
on
call.
and off the field. I think he lost his composure.
Right. Let me get to the next caller. Hold on. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, SWAC Buzz and Mr. Ford? How y'all doing?
Hey, great. How you doing?
I'm good. This is No Slack in the SWAC podcast checking in. I'm loving the content y'all putting out or whatever, but I wanted to make this statement. What would you think Coach Robinson would have acted differently if he had won the game?
You're talking about
oh yeah, of course.
Over at Alabama State.
Right. If Alabama State
of course
won the game yesterday,
I think it would. Yeah,
would it have been a whole different react? How you think he would have reacted if they would have won?
He would have shook his hand and hugged him.
No, he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have said all that stuff. Yeah, he wouldn't have said that stuff in that press conference. No. Like I said, I mean, I'm gonna stick to this. I think he lost his composure. The way he acted on and off the field yesterday was beneath him. And I say that because I've watched him over the years. That was beneath him.
Right.
That was beneath him.
Yeah, because I have a lot of respect for Coach Robinson, man.
I do too. I'm a big fan of his.
He's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, like I said, listen, they are right there with Jackson. I just need him to go. Either I gave y'all a name earlier. I gave you the name of Joe Hamilton. Joe Hamilton can come down there and train them boys and give them an offense. What Alabama State doesn't have, they don't have a system. Okay, the other thing they got, that second boy that came in, he hadn't been trained properly. His footwork was terrible. His mechanics was terrible. His principles of playing quarterback was way off, throwing across his body. It was just terrible. Listen, Eddie Robinson has NFL connections. He don't have to do nothing but call Andy Reid and let Andy Reid recommend some people for him to bring to Alabama State. Let me tell you something. Quentin Ross would do anything for him. Jason Cable, them folks would do anything for him.
Thank you for the call, caller. Let me get to the next person. I got a few more calls on here. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
What's up with you?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I absolutely love everything Coach Robinson did. He stood at the ground. I love it. Like the stuff that Coach Sanders did during the week. I understand he was hyping up the game or whatever, but if I'm the opponent, I'm gonna take it as disrespect. All the media that was going on, all the boys talking trash. If I'm a competitor, I'm gonna be motivated by that. And they was talking trash. All right, that's one point. Then he walking through the area. Any team that got some pride will have a problem with people walking in the area. That's how the game is.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with them having pride, but the disrespect, you don't have to disrespect them. You can talk noise, you can laugh at them, you can joke with them, all that, but some of the stuff that they were saying was really just disrespectful and uncalled for. That's just in my opinion. That's
let me say this too now. One of the callers said it earlier. See, I remember Coach Cooley. You think that Deion Sanders is talking trash? He ain't nothing compared to what Coach Cooley was. Another one was Big John Merritt up at Tennessee State. Y'all think Deion talking trash? Y'all should go back and pull up Big John Merritt. Go back and pull up Coach Castle. Now, Jake Gaither didn't talk trash. He let his boys, but he was going to run the ball game up. But now, one thing Jake Gaither always tried to do, he wanted to beat you 77, 80-0. That was his goal. Eddie Robinson was the same way. He was going to try to run the score up on you, but he wasn't going to talk no trash. Because now, two things about Eddie Robinson, who I saw. I worked for his son as his GA, and I saw Jay Gaither. Now, they let their teams do the talking, but one thing they was going to do, they was going to run the score up on you now. And FAMU's fans, if Jake Gaither didn't run the score up on him, you know what they start saying? That Coach Gaither getting old, because they wanted him to run the score up on him. So I'm just telling y'all now, y'all think that Deion talking for trash? Go back and pull up the guy that was at Mississippi Valley. They called him the gunslinger, Coach Cooley. Go back and pull up Big John Merritt, Tennessee State. Go back and pull up Coach Cassom at Alcorn State. Go back and pull them people up.
All right. And also for talking about Coach Robinson, people saying that he hating on Coach Prime. He said, "Pray you don't get Power 5." It's not like he praying on his downfall or his success. He praying that he get another opportunity at him in his house. That's the.
And I hope he gets it. I do. I hope he gets it. I think this can be a hot rivalry because I mean, you know, I say this every week. Now that Southern Jackson State rivalry, that thing is 38 hot. I would love for this Jackson State and Alabama State to be ramped up. I do. I love for it to be ramped up. I love for this to be a big rivalry too.
All right, let me get to the next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
JSU Tiger 85 said, "Did you know that Coach Markham and Coach Hill?" No.
Hold on. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the line. Talk to me.
Oh, hi. I'd like to make a comment about the situation with Coach Robinson and Coach Prom. Now, I've been a fan of Deion Sanders all my life. I know what he's trying to bring towards the SWAC is that he's trying to bring marketability where sponsors and like big time television things is trying to come to the SWAC. That's the type of I guess what Deion's trying to bring. And unfortunately, with him still being primetime, he's going to have that pizzazz and I guess debonair to like poke the animal and everything to the HBCUs. That's what he's trying to do. But a coach like Coach Robinson, he's a former NFL player too, but all his foundation and his plan of success comes from the HBCU. So of course he don't want to do nothing to diminish that light and disrespect that. But with Primetime being a Hall of Fame player, being the pizzazz player that he came from, he knows the direction. If you talk to Prime, he talks about the marketability aspect, and people should try to sell out seats and everything like that. That brings marketability to there. So that's the direction Deion's trying to take the SWAC, you know. But I can understand when Coach Robinson said that Deion ain't SWAC because Coach Robinson is an alma mater of Alabama State and everything like that. All his success came from those great legends like Eddie Robinson and the ones he mentioned at that press conference. And
well, let me ask you this. If he said that Deion ain't SWAC, so you saying Willie Simmons ain't SWAC then? Because Willie Simmons played at Clemson and the Citadel. Are you saying that Willie Simmons ain't SWAC?
No. I'm saying what the thing is that Deion went to Florida State and everything like that, but I think
and Willie Simmons went to Clemson.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, here's the thing. Like I said, Eddie Robinson is SWAC because he played at Alabama State. He played at those SWAC schools. And Willie Simmons and Deion Sanders, the thing is that they came from the major schools. That's called what it is. And they know about the marketability and the big time success of those marketabilities that they try to bring down to the SWAC. And
well,
that's where the struggle between the two coaches lies.
Eddie Robinson went to a school called Leland College. He ain't SWAC.
Yeah, this is crazy.
He went to Leland College.
This don't make no sense, y'all. Come on now. Come on, caller. Like, you know that don't make no sense to say a coach ain't SWAC because of what school they went to. They the coach. They coaching the team.
No, I'm trying to say the struggle between Eddie Robinson and Deion Sanders, where it comes from. In fact, that Coach Robinson's success comes from the SWAC and everything like that. Deion SWAC because he's coaches at the school. That's how
there
he's
you
SWAC.
go. There you go. Once he signed to be the head coach at Jackson State, he was SWAC.
Right. But
Hugh Jackson, I think, went to Long Beach State, didn't it? Where did Hugh Jackson go?
Appreciate the
You
call,
gonna tell
caller.
me he not SWAC?
Yeah, that has to be the dumbest
Yeah,
thing that we've talked about so
Willie
far
Simmons went to Clemson.
in
He
the
went to the
SWAC.
Citadel.
Like, come on, we don't need to start there, because if we gonna do that, Alcorn need to get that 2014, 2015 trophy back, because they coach wasn't SWAC.
Sure that's the truth.
Maynard,
Ole Miss.
yeah, Maynard not SWAC. Coach Odom's one SWAC.
Maynard not SWAC.
Yeah, Coach Odom's one SWAC.
Listen,
Southern, y'all got a championship out of him
truth
too.
be told, y'all don't know that Jake Gaither didn't go to Florida A&M. He went to Knoxville College.
Right. All right, we got a few more calls. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Carly? You live? Talk to me.
Hi, SWAC Buzz. How are you? This is Tanya from Twitter at Miss Damn Chocolate. Hello, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm Tanya from New York. I'm always like, how's Mr. Ford?
Thank you.
I have a couple of things.
Now, what, are you in the 5 boroughs, or where are you now?
Yes, I'm from Harlem.
Oh, 125th, right? What's that, 125th Street?
I'm from 112. Yes, but I'm from 112th Street.
Yes.
And Lenox Avenue. Yes. But I so love when you co-host with SWAC. I mean, dear God, when you're not in, we're worried. I'm hoping you're doing well, and my condolences. I know you had a loss in your family.
Yeah, thank you so much. Here.
You're welcome. So I have a few things I'm going to jot off really quick.
Go ahead.
Number one,
okay.
Coach Prime is SWAC. SWAC Cody, Coach of the Year.
Right.
So he is SWAC, number one. Number two, in my heart of hearts, the first thing I thought of, those 2 Power 5 recruits that were visiting. I believe Coach Robinson was embarrassed. He was embarrassed that he lost his first homecoming in front of those recruits, and there were 2 NFL scouts there as well.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And I also watched to the end because I thought I was going crazy. My eyes are 44 years old. I said, did he try to push Coach Prime?
No.
Yeah. But that's
so
handshake.
Oh, so you didn't see what went on?
He went for the bro hug.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
He went for the bro hug. But I got up at 5:30 this morning, and I've been following Coach Prime's son Instagram.
Oh yes, you do it.
No, Deion Jr.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. That's the one
show.
went to SMU.
Yes, and the pregame show. Did you not see the clips and the angles we were unable to see? How disrespectful those young men were.
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
Fuck Prime, fuck Prime.
Yeah, try to keep the language down. Try to keep the language
I'm sorry,
PG.
darling. I'm in New York, so I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so disgusted by that.
Right. Oh yeah.
Well, I appreciate the call.
Mr. Ford.
Go ahead and finish up.
Let me say this to you. I'm from South Georgia. Part of my family left South Georgia in the 40s. They went to Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn. That's
Brooklyn.
And anytime they came to South Georgia, we thought they were celebrities because they was from New York.
Thank you for the call.
Jungle, baby.
All right. I got a few more calls. Oh man, y'all stacking it up tonight. All right, so I'm gonna get to 6 more calls and then we're gonna shut it down. I appreciate y'all calling in tonight. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Yes, I'm calling.
Yeah, so you got to change. You got to turn the stream off because it's gonna loop back, and then you're gonna be responding to the stream instead of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope I got it right, and I do want to say hello to everyone. But I just wanted to add that Deion Sanders played football at Florida State, but he graduated from Talladega College.
That's right.
And that is a HBCU. So
That's
I just wanted to note that so everybody know.
Yeah, and also, the president of Hampton for many years, he was a graduate of Talladega, I believe. Dr. William Harvey. I believe he was a graduate of Talladega, I believe. I'm not sure.
And he did say that HBCUs did not go after him. It's the reason why he did not go to one. But Florida State had the guts to go after him. So,
well, now, let me say this. Coach Rudy Hubbard has refuted that story. He says that he did go after. Rudy Hubbard was the coach at Florida A&M, and he said that he did recruit Deion Sanders. Now, so there's a kind of like a little controversy right there, because Rudy Hubbard says that he did go after it.
Okay, well, that came out of Deion Sanders' mouth.
Yeah,
so
I heard it, but Rudy Hubbard has refuted that story.
All right, go ahead and finish up. Go ahead and finish up, Carla.
That was the only point that I wanted to make, that he graduated from Talladega College.
All right, well, thank you for the call. Appreciate you for calling.
Thank you so much.
All right, let me go to the next caller. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. Hey, how you doing?
Hello. Hey, I just had a couple things to say. I've been watching this, and it's really sad why we can't get along. We just can't get anywhere. Like, I've been an advocate of different people coming from the outside and sharing their perspective on what we can do better, what we can do right. I'm not opposed to even white people coming in and having a part of the administration at HBCUs, because white people do things differently. And if they can yield results and get us what we need to educate our kids, I'm okay with that. I just, this whole, well, he shouldn't have walked over here. Has anybody ever paid attention to where a head coach walked before Deion Sanders was walking the field? Has anybody really ever done that?
No.
So, it's like all this, and I read this article called The Ladder of Reverence, and you just get in your feelings, and next thing you know, somebody walked by you. You're like, did you see her face? Did you see the way he twitched his face? And, he may not even been looking at you. But we just work our way up this ladder and then it turns into being disrespectful. Everything is disrespectful. We let white people disrespect us all day, all year, all the time.
Yes.
But then as soon as we got a brother trying to bring up not just Jackson State, but raise awareness for all HBCUs, we got to go there. These players should be checked. That doesn't make any sense. Deion has been respectful. Coach Prime, he's been respectful to everyone. And he says that he's had a growth. He's evolved a lot over the years. And everybody want to take him back to when he had them chains and he was flashy and all this stuff. He's been very humble.
Yeah, and the Jerry curl.
Yes. He's been very humble. And he's trying to make this work for all of us and all of our children. And I'm just so sick of hearing about, oh, he's wrong, he's talking trash. He got that place sold out. Okay? He knows what he's doing. Can we just give the man some grace and stop acting like, analyzing everything that he does, because there's been no HBCU coach that's been scrutinized as much as he has.
Right. Thank you for the
and
call.
The sad part about us is we wait till our greats
preaching.
die, and then we tell us how great, and then we say how great they are. But we can't give them no love while they're on this earth. We got to wait till they die, and then we say, okay, he was a great man.
I had to drop a bomb. I had to drop a bomb for him. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing? SWAC Buzz and Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, just wanted to make a comment. The caller that called in and was talking about Deion Sanders interviewed at the Arkansas University, and they rejected him because of how flashy he is and all that kind of good stuff. Well, let's look at it. In the state of Mississippi, you have two other head coaches that are flashy. You got Leach at Mississippi State. You got the head coach at Ole Miss. So saying that Deion Sanders is too flashy is the reason they didn't hire him at the University of Arkansas. That's just an excuse to be thrown out there to be used to reject him. So the caller that made that's just part of course in corporate America. And two, and I get transparency. I'm a retired military officer, and when Deion Sanders walked that sideline, and those African American young men spoke to that 50-plus-year-old man the way they did, that was so beyond disrespect that the president of Alabama State University should have had the AD, the head coach, and those players in her office at 6:30 a.m. because she was headed to the 8:30 church service, and they should have been dealt with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, you're right. No doubt about it. But that lets you know why our homicide rate among our young blacks is so high. It starts out with that kind of disrespect.
Right.
That's why every community you go to, you hear about young blacks killing each other. It starts with disrespect. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to treat each other.
And you're exactly right, Mr. Ford. What those players said is totally indefensible. There's no defense for that. And if someone attempts to defend that, then that tells me about their value system. And here's the last thing, and I'm off. Those players behave that way, and I have to put the buck where it belongs. The leadership. When I was a commander, everything that happened under my command, I was responsible for. That's the leader. The leader sets the culture, and those players were following the culture, regardless of what the written values of Alabama State University is. Thank you. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right. We at 2 hours. Mr. Ford, you want to go and close us out for the night? I thank y'all for. Well, we got one more call. I'm gonna take. Let me take this other call today. Somebody just called in. Let me take them real quick.
Okay.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, SWAC Boys, how you doing? This is Chris again from San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, hey.
ASB, I wasn't going to call back in. I was just going to sit back and listen. But these last couple, I guess, call-ins. Listen. I coach at a charter school here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm born and raised in Ohio. When I'm talking to these kids, I dare a parent or somebody say, "Why should my son come play for you? You ain't Texas. You ain't San Antonio." Look here. And guess what? I can coach your son better than you can to go play defensive end at Division I school. That's ridiculous. And as far as Shedeur Sanders and his father go with that pregame walk, we talked about Coach Prime before. If you go back to Shedeur Sanders, he's been doing that walk since 8th grade. Right. Shedeur Sanders has been making that walk since 8th grade. Okay, that's number 2. Last thing, SWAC Buzz, is this. We get to the next caller. Mr. Ford said something earlier, and he was right. Look at Muhammad Ali. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Look at Rick Pitino. Everybody ain't cut from the humble cloth as a Tony Dungy, as a Tom Osborne, as a Eddie Robinson. How about as a people, we learn to accept folks for who they are and not what the hell we think they should be. Coach Prime, he's doing a great job. It was blown out of proportion. It didn't have to be that. Everybody ain't everybody ain't Mr. Humble. Come on now.
Yeah.
That guy's personality. He didn't do nothing wrong, SWAC Buzz. And I apologize. I had to call back in like this.
That's all good. Thank you for the call.
Hey, bless you, brother.
All
right, Mr. Ford.
Okay, yeah, have a great one here.
See, y'all do this every time. Every time I see y'all think y'all slick in the chat. Every time I say I'm about to end the show, I get like 5 or 6 calls at the same time. Y'all think y'all slick. I'm gonna go and take y'all tonight, though. Hold on, let me get to the next call. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Yeah. Let's see what's up, SWAC Buzz and Mr. Ford.
Hey,
how's it going now?
Going all right. I just want to say something about the who's SWAC. I think Coach Prime is more SWAC than any of them. Jez, you got a championship, SWAC championship.
Right.
You also got Travis Hunter.
Right.
And the man got 3 kids to go to JSU.
There you go.
You got a lot of these guys, they be coaches and went there, then they send their kids everywhere else. I remember in basketball.
Let me stop you right there. Remember Donald Hill Ely? His son wanted to leave Maryland, and instead of bringing the boy down to Alabama State with him, he sent the boy to Georgia Tech to the worst coach in the ACC, cat named Jeff Collins. My thing was, you coaching at Alabama State, but Alabama State ain't good enough for your son, then you need to go with your son.
You remember Coach Cable in basketball?
Yeah.
Remember his son went to Duke in North Carolina? I'd have fired him on the spot.
He coached at Fayetteville State, and he coached at North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, but his sons didn't go there.
They went to one went to Duke and one went to North Carolina.
That's right. So I'm just saying. Here, this man got three of his kids go to JSU.
Hey, I knew he was all in when I saw that.
That's right. Let me tell you one more point.
Go ahead.
When they said that God, he said that God told him to go to JSU. Right?
Yeah.
So if you believe that, don't be worried about him going nowhere else. Because I know God ain't gonna tell him to go to Auburn or Florida State or Alabama. And I just leave it at that. Thanks.
And them white folks don't want him at Auburn. You can believe that. And Georgia Tech either.
All right, hold on, y'all. What's going on, Collie Live? Talk to me. What's going on, Collie? Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, real quick, man. Yeah, I know there's a lot of negativity and stuff going on. You know, the whole thing with Coach Prime and Robinson Jr., Coach Jr. But anyway, long story short, yeah, I just for like a positive message to say on a positive note, I think the Jackson State fans should just focus on Jackson State promoting the positive experience that they have in that Jackson State from the alum, everybody that goes there, the community, and really just help out as far as like recruiting and the football team, like buy the jerseys and be on social media, targeting some of these recruits that are out there, because that's what I see on Twitter. You got a lot of people, targeting these recruits, especially that going into the transfer portal. They think about leaving some of their programs, these high recruits, and just send personal messages out to these recruits and tag them on or whatever like that, or whatever you can do, and just encourage them to come on down to Jackson State and send personal messages and show them the great experience that they can have at Jackson State. I think that's what the Jackson State fans should focus on and stop worrying about the detractors and stuff like that, what Deion Sanders is doing. And I think that would be great for the program because that's all I want to see. I want to see Jackson State do their thing. They're the only reason I even bought like the ESPN Plus and stuff like that. And they got boxing on there. I didn't even do it for boxing, but I did it for Jackson State. So anyway, I just wanted to end on that note. So, just stay positive and target those recruits. Just help out with recruiting. And so Deion can fulfill his objective and keep winning out. Y'all keep enjoying those games. All right. Catch y'all later. Bye.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right. Let me get to this caller. What's going on, caller? You live. Talk to me.
Hey, Straight Buzz. I want to thank you for taking my call.
Going on, caller, you live. Yeah, you're gonna have to turn the stream. Yeah, you got to turn the stream off in the background. Thank you for the contribution, Diamond.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Okay. I want to say this. For all the I was driving down the highway trying to get here before you start in the live. Listen, I want to say this for all the callers who are calling in with these lies that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, disrespected those kids. He did find one video where Coach Prime disrespected those players. They can't find it because he didn't do it. He didn't disrespect Eddie Robinson Jr. He didn't never once disrespect that man. I just want to debunk that lie. They're putting these spearing these lies and he did not do it. You can't find the video. The second point I want to make, before Eddie Robinson Jr. and his team took the field, I already knew before they came out the tunnel, he had an agenda. One was he wanted to win. But if y'all look at that video of him coming out that tunnel, it was already festering in his spirit. They called his team out first. They didn't move.
Right.
They stayed in that tunnel.
Right.
So the announcer went to JSU. This man had something festering in his system before he touched that field.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say that. He probably was mad at him for all the talk that was going on through the week, saying that they were going to put, they're going to blow them out and that they should have never scheduled them for their homecoming. So, yeah, it was some sour grapes there. I would say that. I won't call it jealousy. I would say sour grapes. They was pissed off already. And then them losing the homecoming just added icing on the cake.
Yeah, and for the players, I said this to the Alabama State players. I'm pretty sure it was not all players because when we was leaving, I did see some of JSU football players and Alabama State players meet in the middle of the field, hug it out, and they were just laughing and just, just enjoying that moment.
Yeah, that's what we
But
need.
as fans, we need to do better.
Right.
We got these little kids. If they don't make it to the next level, they're going out there on their job. These nasty attitudes, they won't make it.
There you go, baby. Excellent. That's right.
And the same attitude that they displayed is gonna get them killed in the streets.
Yep. Right. There you go.
You had to have scouts there. I hope the scouts would jot down names and the numbers of those players. You don't want that. That's what you do not want in the league. So them, what they did and the things that they said, they want to hurt themselves.
Right. Right.
Want to hurt, and this is embarrassing. I saw online that somebody said that Alabama said, I don't know who they played last week if it was in Texas, but they said they clowned in Texas. This has to stop.
Right.
And I think as a SWAC commissioners, when you see this type of behavior and it's getting out of control, start finding these schools.
Amen.
All right. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you for the call.
Stopping all this foolishness.
There you go.
Thank you for the call, sister. I had to land your plane. Thank you for the call. Mona Lisa, appreciate that contribution to the channel. Also, let me shout out the people from Cash App. Alvin B, appreciate the donation. Nikki Brown, appreciate the Cash App. Julius Nash, appreciate the Cash App. And let me get this other person. Let me shout you out as well. Hold on. Phone done cut out. Landry Johnson, thank you for the contribution as well. All right, let me get to the next caller. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, this is a good show. I just happened to stumble upon you guys, so I really appreciate it. But I love what Prime is doing. I think Coach Robinson Jr. is just a little salty, but I want Prime to focus on 4 things, 2 of which he's already done: visibility for the SWAC, sponsorships, then draft picks, then recruits. That's what if he gets some of his current players into the NFL, that's going to help with the extra recruits to bring. I don't care about him going to Florida State, Arkansas, or any of the rest of them. If he can bring these players to the SWAC and the MEAC and the rest of these HBCUs and let these guys know that they can get into the NFL from the HBCUs, that's it right there.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So Junior just needs to just relax. The kind of visibility over the past couple of years. And by the way, who schedules JSU for your homecoming? That's disrespect in and of itself.
But I thought it was a beautiful thing. It was the largest crowd in Alabama State's history. Okay?
Only because of what Prime did, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying it still was a great idea. On TV, it looked great. The pageantry, you could see the tradition. Yes. Like they talking about he embarrassed. How can he? Prime time is 50 years old. Alabama State was started in 1870 something. How can he embarrass Alabama State? I had 3 people from Alabama State. So I thought it was a great thing, and I would like to see more games like that. I can remember back in the 80s when Jackson State had Southern University for their homecoming, and we thought that was the best thing ever. I thought it was a great thing, and I hope, you know what? I hope that he does make Alabama State his homecoming next year. I like that. I like them big games like that.
I just want his guys to get the draft picks. Once he get the draft picks, and some of these Alabama and Georgia recruits see Prime Time getting his players in the NFL, then he has something that, because he already can tell you, I can tell you how to get there. But then he got
no doubt about it.
His son and the rest of them in there going there, then let these other Power 5 coaches get an attitude. And one of the cockiest coaches out here down in Clemson. He's arrogant.
Not only cocky, he's racist.
Thank you for the call.
He's a Trump supporter and happy about it.
Right. HBCU Overdrive, thank you for that donation. Also, DI Love, appreciate the contribution to the channel. Let me get to the next caller. What's going on, Collie Live? Talk to me.
Yes, sir. Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
All right. My thing is, ever since Coach Prime been at Jackson State, since he first came in, everybody has attacked not the institution but the individual. So everybody put a lot of emphasis on we beat Prime, we beat Coach Prime, we beat Coach Prime, and it's not really about him. I feel like Jackson State take the back seat, and ever since he's been there, he has been trying to help black colleges as a whole. When he hosts his satellite camps in the summer, he invites the black colleges down there, to come and scout the other boys and do this, and then just ideas that he has thrown out as far as getting the names on the back of jerseys. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but when I watch those teams now, I see a lot of names on the back of the jerseys, and it's just small things that he does. I do respect Coach Robinson because I like the way he carries himself, but I think with all the pomp and circumstance that surrounded this game, you got to remember his spring season, how Grambling did it when Broderick Fowler, we're not going to pay attention to the surface of the show, he said. The thing what happened with that is Eddie Robinson had a long career too as far as playing in the pros like Coach Prime.
Oh yeah,
but he done had a fanfare. Now he was a consistent, career, but he don't have the gold jacket and the camera that follow him like what Coach Prime does.
He's not a celebrity like Deion. Deion's a celebrity.
Yes, sir. And so he doesn't have that with him, and so I think in a way he was a little salty about it. But everybody right now is against what Jackson State doing, and like I say, it's the same because his whole message was to help HBCUs, and instead of beating the institution, people are making it more so about Deion. So it's the same. But like I said, I know what he has done since he's been there. Like I say, with the camps in the summer. Every chance he gets, I remember he just did a podcast with Earn Your Leisure. He was telling the guy, he said, man, there's some good coaches in this league, there's good players in this league. He always tried to uplift every chance he gets. So people hear what they want to hear, they make it what they want to make it, but I know it's hard and I just appreciate the show, and I just appreciate you for taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call, caller. Let's get to the next call. What's going on, Collie Live? Talk to me.
What's going on, Sweat Bud? This is Doc Holiday, HBCU Overdrive, man.
Okay.
What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I'm good. I just celebrated my birthday yesterday. Turned good 43 years old, man.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. My issue is with this. It made for a good competitive banter for next year. We play them again.
Yeah.
But my thing is, and I always tell this, if you got kids out there calling these girls, men out there calling these girls bitches, what do you think they call their mom when they at home?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You kind of
that was crazy.
Coming from?
Yeah.
Right. Because first of all, that word ain't even gonna be uttered out of my mouth because I know my mama. My mama's 60 years old.
Right.
She beat the brakes off of me. You know what I'm saying? She would beat the brakes off of me just because that even spit like, nah, they ain't even coming out. So he should have got on his players for that. The other thing is like he ain't SWAC and stuff like that. Like you said, the other caller said, man, he got 3 kids that go to that school. You know what I'm saying? Like he been the head coach at the school since 2020. So he got plenty of experience. That's plenty of experience for me for him to be SWAC, but it ain't even all about that. I feel like, man, you just thought you got y'all wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash Saturday.
There you go, man.
That's it. But I'm just letting you know, man. Like I said, it's gonna be some smoke next season when they play again in Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Because most of them players, they gonna remember that.
Oh yeah. No doubt about it.
All right. Thank you for the call. Let me get. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish up. Go ahead. I don't want to
No.
cut y'all.
No, you good, man. But
Okay.
I was just saying like this: the commissioner. I know everybody said the commissioner needs to look at it. He probably will look at it, and he probably will address both schools. That way, you know what I'm saying. The competitiveness is going to stay, be at bay. We don't need to have no type of hard feelings, but Bama State, y'all got hard feelings from last season and last night. So, other than that, man, this is a good show, and I'm gonna tell you just like this. I tell on my show, hey, y'all get the likes up. hit the like button.
Also, you can share the link to your channel in the chat, and we'll pin it so people can follow your channel. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling. All right. All right. Let me get next person. What's going on, caller? You live. Also, let me right before you go, caller. Let me shout out these people that gave super chats. Rose Red, thank you for the contribution, and PNC King, thank you for the contribution as well. What's going on, caller? You live. Talk to me.
Hey, I just got one real quick statement. I agree with one of the other callers that said, first of all, Coach Prime, or whatever you want to call him, is a grown man, and children are children, and people should respect their elders, and that really needs to be looked into for the overall integrity of their organization.
Right.
But my main thing is saying, when they was mentioning during his post interview that Prime and his team, they just should have taken a knee, and they should have done this, and they should have done that. But I saw a photograph where he hugged the coach of UCLA that beat him 45-7.
Yeah, a lot of people been saying that.
Yeah. So I think, and I'm from a SWAC school in Southern University, and people have always talked trash, but it's always been family fun. We talk trash. I mean, I have sat next to folks at Grambling during the Grambling Southern game, talk trash and pass beers from touchdowns, but it was always family, and it was never no mess like that.
Yeah.
And it's just we need to stop that, because it just makes us look bad when we on the uprise now. So the SWAC is everyone has their eyes on the SWAC now.
Yes, they do. That's the truth.
You got folks actually these number one recruits. The young man that Jackson got was the number one recruit until he went to Jackson. Then he became the number 2 recruit.
Right. That's right.
So the SWAC has always been great with the NFL. Some of the best players. We're on the uprise now, and we need to go ride this wave and start treating each other like family, like we are.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
And they just put out a list of the best games in the FCS so far, as far as attendance, is all SWAC games.
Right.
And a SWAC football game, you get it all. You get a fashion show. You get a good halftime show.
Halftime show.
It's like a family reunion.
Yep.
Yes.
A great and everything's like a family reunion. I mean, this.
And good food if you go to the tailgate.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, we just need to stop, hating on each other, show the love, and it's going to rise up like we're supposed to be. And then, I feel that they always going to the SWAC schools for some of the better players, but now some of these other players will be like, we're going to get some recognition. We're really going to be seen, and we're going to go to where where we are welcomed and where we are loved, and not just let us pack the stadium.
Right.
And after your 4 years of eligibility up, if you don't graduate, sorry, see you later.
Yeah, they send you back to the ghetto they got you from under the bridge they got you from.
Right. Let me shout out. Hold on just a second. Let me shout out Carolyn Harris. Thank you for the contribution through Cash App. Let me get to the next caller. Get to a couple more calls, y'all, and then we're gonna shut it down tonight. We probably coming up on 2.5 hours now. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, SWAC? How you doing, Mr. Ford? Hey,
how you doing?
Mr. Ford. Thanks God for you, man, kicking that history to him. I just want to throw, let me throw one thing out there, Mr. Ford. You being the historian, hopefully you can, spread this a little more or get at it a little more. But one of our biggest issues, and I was the guy that called here a couple weeks ago, SWAC, this is my second time calling, and I talked about how we have become more emotional over the years.
Right.
And what happened, and this is a result of the man being taken out of the house.
Yes.
And once they took the man out, we raised the woman up to be independent.
Right.
The woman became independent.
Yeah.
But she has to approach this stuff as a man. So now the women have become more masculine, trying to teach a young male child to be more emasculated.
Right.
So to speak.
Right.
And this is the result of it. This is what causes emotional. For a long time growing up, I'm 67. And a long time growing up, you always hear, my father, men can't be emotional. You have to be able to control your emotions and address issues.
That's right.
And because of all this, this is what you're saying. This is what you're saying. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that women are independent, but it's a bad thing when women become independent, trying to teach a man, a young child, how to be a man. I'm not saying all. I'm saying some, but not all. But most of them, this is what it is. Mr. Ford, please, if you can go into that. And I'll sit back and listen.
Listen. Let me give you a little history on that. It was during the Johnson administration. They had one of them meetings at the White House where they said, what we going to do about them ends? And one of the things they said was they were going to come up with something called feminism, where they were going to push women's lib. But at the same time, they were going to tell the black woman that she didn't need the black man. Even if she had children, she didn't need the black man. And so out of that came an increase into this whole homosexuality increase and all of that. You're absolutely right. They know one of the things they've always done in this country was to keep the black family destroyed. Okay? Exactly. Let me tell you something. Reagan them created something, it was a government agency, and the job was, what was that thing called? DFAX. Have you ever heard of that? DFAX?
Yeah, I heard of it. I don't know much about it, but I did.
Was created by the Reagan administration to destroy black families. That is one of the ways they know in order to control us and keep us in a slave-like condition, they had to keep our families destroyed. What they would do during the antebellum period was they would sell if it was the mom, the dad, and the child, all enslaved. You sold the dad to South Carolina, you sold the mama to Georgia, and sold the child to Alabama. They still doing the same thing.
Now, what is the solution? See, we got to get to some solutions because it's only going to get worse.
Let me tell you, it is going to get worse. But let me.
Hey, y'all. Let's try to keep it more focused on football. I understand everything y'all saying. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, Mr. Ford. Call back, Mr. Ford. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I understand. I understand it. I understand his history, but when we go into things like feminism and things like that, you have to understand we do have our sisters watching this show as well. So you don't want to.
Well, no, I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them though.
I understand what you're saying, but it could muddy the waters, and the point and the conversation can go off the rails to where people aren't listening to what's being said. They focus on being offended. So.
Well, you're right about that. That's the emotional part.
Yeah. So when we do that, when we have conversations like this, we have to be careful because we don't want to offend our sisters and brothers out there that may be in the homosexual community and things like that. Now, I'm not trying to make my might show PC or anything like that. We can have these conversations, but at the same time, be mindful of all our community that's watching these shows and that's involved in the SWAC.
I'm with you on that, but my intent was to get to why that issue happened, which is what we were talking about. And that's why I wanted I wanted Mr. Ford to talk about that a little bit. And the issue is, because it's sports, one thing about sports, we learn sportsmanship. Right. And this just may be the avenue that those people need to hear, because I'm not beating up on them. I'm just saying this is what happened. Yeah. And maybe people can it's time for us to start thinking about these tough situations, or else they're just going to keep getting worse and worse. And then before you know it, the last time I called you, I told you, I think this is the kind of stuff, if Coach Prime going to leave Jackson State, this would be issue that would cause them to leave, because we got to get a grip on this, man. We just have to.
Yeah. And so football, you have to think about it. Football teaches discipline, teaches family, teaches brotherhood. When you're on a football team, it's no different from being in a fraternity or anything else. You're being around like-minded men. So it's up to those coaches to train up those guys to, show respect, because they may not have their father figure at home that taught them in that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids are choosing sports to escape the streets, to escape bad, their bad environments that they come from. So we have to give our young brothers some grace too, because they ain't got all the answers yet. They trying to figure this thing out. They probably be coming from a situation to where mama is working 2 or 3 jobs. Mama not at home like that, so that kid had to raise himself. So he's trying to play football, trying to get to the league so he can get his mama or, whatever relative that's raising him out of that situation. So we had to give our young brothers some grace as well. Yeah, I do not like them disrespecting the coach. They do need to be reprimanded from the coaches for that. But let's also get them some grace, and because these kids are coming from different environments, and I know I've been to HBCUs and I see these kids. They coming in straight off the streets, and they're trying to learn how to be men. Now, I think the coaches need to talk to these kids and let them know that's unacceptable. You do not talk to your other brother like that.
Well, actually, Coach Prime had a video out maybe a week or two ago where he kind of hit it with and talked about how these young men are being raised like cats opposed to dogs. I think you might have heard that one. He said we got to get some dogs. We got to start teaching these guys how to. We got to be a little tougher with them. That's all. We just got to really emphasize discipline a lot more. And when they're wrong, we got to respectfully pull them to the side. I think what this can be for all of us is, whenever you see a young man in the wrong, and you're just out here in the streets, man, and you see a young man wrong, respectfully pull him over. Don't beat him down, because I don't do that either. And kind of encourage him, try to show him. And even if I would even offer, man, if you just need to talk to somebody, man, give me a call.
I had to land your plane, brother. Appreciate the call. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Let me get to this last caller. What's going on, caller? You live. Talk to me.
Good evening, SWAC Bud. This is Mike D. I'm calling from Dallas again. And I was just calling back to, I just wanted to chime in with Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, he brought up a great point earlier when he started talking about Muhammad Ali. And the difference between Muhammad Ali and Deion is, when you go inside that boxing ring, you're an individual. But when you're a head coach of a football team, you're a leader. And I was a leader in the middle of years. And when you're a leader, you have to be very careful, because it's not what we say, it's what we do. And especially when you're dealing with young African-American men, you have to be very humble because only 1%, maybe 2% is going to make it to the NFL.
Right.
So if you have that type of attitude going into the corporate world or just in life, nobody's going to be bothered. Nobody's going to want to be bothered with you. So it's all about conducting yourself like a leader day in and day out. I know a lot of people, they chimed in and they said that Deion is not SWAC. I don't agree with that. Deion is SWAC. Anytime you have one individual that's taking the SWAC to new heights, he is SWAC. And like Mr. Ford said, that's our problem as African Americans. We take people for granted. We don't give them people their flowers until they dead and gone. And I wish African Americans, we would change that. But besides that, Deion, he's doing a great job. I'm all about, the method and how you conduct yourself. And I feel, if he just tighten up and just bring himself back in and make it about us instead of I and me, it's no limit what God is gonna do for Coach Prime. Because like Mr. Ford said, we're not even talking about the players today. We're not talking about the quarterback. We're not talking about how good Alabama State defense is. We're talking about Prime, and that's not what it's about. Because as we get older in life, we got to take ourselves up out of this and make it about the kids. That's all I got.
Right. All right. Thank you for the call. Woo! I feel like I done worked the shift, y'all. All right, that was tonight's show, y'all. Goodness gracious. I feel like I done worked the shift. Thank you for the likes. We over 500 likes tonight. That's a new record. 500 likes is a new record. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the show. And here comes somebody else calling. Y'all get on my nerves. Y'all get on my nerves. I'm gonna answer this call. I'm gonna get this one. What's going on, Carly? You live, talk to me.
Yeah, I was just want to call and just share a bit that Coach Prime has been from my perspective, Coach Prime has been very transparent. He has multiple videos that goes out from whether it's a pregame show or well-off media, showing what he's doing with these young men to help them be better, not only to potentially be a prospect in the NFL, but to be better in their individual lives as they go on to grow in their careers, whatever that may be. So teaching them how to be confident in themselves, be sure of yourself, that's what's bad about that. Coach Prime has always been who he is since people became aware of him, whether it was at FSU or whether it was with the Falcons. He has been that way. I mean, he doesn't wear as much jewelry as he used to, because he's grown.
Right. But
Showing confidence and telling these young men, be confident, be sure of yourself. And if somebody has a problem with that, that's not that individual's problem. That's the other person. Just like Coach Prime told him, if they're offended by your confidence, that's their problem. Right. Maybe that person or that company or whatever it is not for you.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's kind of disappointing to hear people say that Coach Prime needs to tone it down when we've known since, the late 80s, early 90s, that this is who this man is. He hasn't changed, whether it was on the field, whether it was at the NFL Network. I mean, he's always been a sharp dresser.
It's part of who he is.
And he has, that's part of who he is. And he has not swayed from that.
And that's why we love him.
I don't.
If he wasn't like that, people wouldn't even, pay him the attention that he
exactly.
Gets.
So he hasn't been wishy-washy in that aspect, and he doesn't have, and he's confident saying, no, this is who I am. You either take it or leave it. But if he was wishy-washy, then it'll be like, oh, he's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. Or if it was somebody else that didn't look like him, that had, say, the same attitude, would it be acceptable because he's not a black man? Right. But we don't want to accept somebody that looks like a majority of us that's on this live in this conversation, saying, hey, I've done this. I know what it looks like. I've talked to people, been around people that knows how to do this. He's laying out the blueprint, not just for his school, but all the HBCUs in other schools, not just for football. He's doing it for tennis. He's doing it for basketball, whatever sport, saying, hey, if football is the biggest money maker in your school, if we can get this up in all these schools, then all the other programs are going to benefit. That means all the kids that come to these schools, whether it's on academics, they're going to benefit because there's going to be more resources.
Right.
These schools can send out more scholarships.
Right. Well, I appreciate you. Oh, go ahead and finish up your point. Go ahead and finish up your point. So I'm sorry.
But people just want to say, hey, oh, he's too cocky, blah, blah, blah. But they don't see the bigger picture. He's saying, I know who I am. I know I'm a big personality. Use me. He's putting himself out there. Use me. But they're taking it in the negative and not seeing that, hey, this man is showing us something different. You don't have to do everything like him, but he's saying, hey, it may work this way. But since I have access to A, B, and C, use me. And he doesn't have a problem with it.
Right. Well, I appreciate you tuning into the channel and calling in and supporting the channel. Make sure you call in on the next show, all right?
I definitely will.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, y'all. That was another episode of SWAC Buzz. I'll be going live sometime this week, maybe in the middle of the week, going live again. I'll be dropping videos here and there throughout the week as well. And, we'll definitely go live before the game next weekend, before all the games next weekend, to talk about week 7. But make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. I'm gone.